Previously, in the Age of Ashes. After a couple of fine bargains, these adventurers, mercenaries, heroes made their way back into the town hall to report their success. I must admit, I had not expected to be hearing back from Breach Hill's newest heroes so soon.
The little stooge had clearly gotten it into his head that there was an ancient magical artifact down there that would lead him to the promised land and get him out of this little backwater.
Yeah, that's
But there's still some things up there that could possibly pose a threat to the town, and so we'd like to continue investigating and neutralize and to the goblins.
The council and myself see no further current threat from Hellknight Hill and see no need to invest the town's resources into these investigations. But even then, these fine folk didn't yet feel like stopping, so they went down to the vaults underneath Citadel Altarian.
Here I'm trying to be super sneaky and just metal clangs together with basically everything.
Taking those big wide cowboy steps.
So there's about a second of silence and delay here before the angry screeching and charging begins.
Right.
A small metal plate printed like a curved, smoking dragon's claw, recognized as being a holy symbol of Dahak, the god of evil dragons. The falling...
Damages your ally.
Okay, so you...
I'm like, now you listen up here, bird. You don't want to touch that man right
it's
there.
It's a divine ability, right? It's like a glimpse of redemption. So like, this bird sees a flash of the life it could have had not succumbed to a life of crime here in the vaults beneath Citadel Altarian with his bird wife and his bird children relaxing on a tropical beach in western Wangi.
A single tear rolls down its feathers.
The bird briefly wonders where his life went so wrong. And he hesitates. He's gonna. It's what are your options? You can lose the attack.
The following options.
And so that is how we found ourselves here in the crypts, the lower levels, the basements beneath Citadel Altarian, surrounded by an assortment of corpses here in this hallway now, but for the moment, seeming safe. You had arrived here and been immediately ambushed by those three strange tropical peacocks, and with not even a minute's rest, been set upon by two of the Cinderclaw cultists, boggards, rampaging from the northern hallway, and now surrounded with blood and the bodies of your slain foes. Finally, the area does fall mostly silent. You can still hear sounds coming down now, you can tell, from the northern hallways here, but they're subtle. You can't really make out exactly what it is, whether it's a conversation, one of the other creatures, more of these boggards. It doesn't sound like language, at least not a language you would understand. But it doesn't, whatever it is, sounds like it's not getting any closer. And it sounds like it's behind at least a couple of doors.
Does anyone want to take this opportunity to rest? I don't hear anything all that close to us. Is everyone all right?
Well, I'm doing all right.
I'm perfectly fine.
Tyrannus is still flanking the doorway here with Dalren and his halberd. And it peeks the corner a bit and looks up to the north. I don't see anything. I dare not hope that was all of them, but thanks to the Sun Priest here, I am fine.
Told you there'd be frogs.
Well, if we're ready to go,
How are you doing there, Rur? I know you took quite a beating there.
Perfectly fine after a short rest. It's still sore, but the worst of it's...
You shouldn't make fun of your height.
So, I believe for the time being, absolutely right. That can't be all of them. The two of them wouldn't have been able to handle the dragon things, let alone the entire tribe of goblins, so there has to be more. Perhaps we should go towards gesturing towards this hallway where the noise is coming from.
And
Okay.
Tyrannus is looking less at you while you talk her and more over you at Resme, just with a kind of bemused expression. I have been told by many that my ability to find humor in mortal situations was unique. Clearly, this was false.
Well, certainly not a
Oh,
mortal
that's
situation
great.
yet.
I mean, if I can teach you to have a sense of humor, that's like 90% of the battle.
And his cocked eyebrow just goes even slightly higher. Your priorities, though, are certainly unique.
Thanks.
And he turns back to Dalren and just kind of motions to all of the bodies butchered across the floor here in the opening of this hallway. I believe they would beg to differ.
They're not the ones laughing, though. Aha.
Not from here, not anymore. That much is certain. If you wish to prepare, rest, bandage up, whatever it is you may need to do. I am fine. I can watch these halls.
Kind of you to offer.
This
but-
may be our only opportunity.
Well, this isn't bravado on my part. I was spared any attention from the frogmen who came through the hallways. They seem to find our Inquisitor of Sarenrae far more interesting.
Yes, I'm
And
quite the
far less
distraction.
armored, I would imagine.
I cannot believe we actually saw frogmen. Are you some can you divine stuff too? You something kind of seer? I cannot believe. It's just an odd coincidence, I say, an odd coincidence that you're talking about frogmen and then we walk into frogmen.
That's true, actually. I was very impressed.
I mean, in all honesty, aren't there always frogmen?
I have never seen a frogman in my whole life.
Not
That
to my
is-
experience, no.
You
That has
need
not
to
been
get
my
out
experience.
more.
I mean.
I've been out a whole lot. I say I've been all the way around Breach Hill, not Breach Hill. I've been all around, and I ain't never seen no frogmen.
Even
These
in my
creatures are
travels.
something I would expect to find more in the swamps or the wonky jungles, and that is much closer to my homeland of Varisia than here in Isker.
And it's the same with the strange birds in the hallway and even the dragon dog. It was also very tropical in orient. It seems these cults must have come a very long way for some reason.
Or were brought a very long way by some manner.
That we cannot say I understand. Still, though, if you're ready, perhaps giving them time to muster a defense is poor tactical judgment.
Yeah.
If you are prepared to proceed.
Of course. Should we try to scout down the hallway? I could cover the light and see what I can see.
I've
or
been practicing my stealth recently. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Probably haven't because I'm real good at it now.
We should be mindful of the bear as well. We don't want to accidentally open the wrong door.
I suppose I'll keep an eye out for magical disturbances.
Okay, so as we do begin to go through this here, let's get what exploration tactics are you taking as you call these vaults? You're detecting magic.
Veritatum revelare.
So I am just a quick correction thing we have learned, because I'm pretty sure every time I read the text of Detect Magic in second edition, I realize that it does less than I thought it did previously. And it is largely because the cantrip has been split into two spells, Detect Magic and Read Aura, which together almost compromise what first edition Detect Magic does, but it's not even directional. It is just, as someone put it in our Discord, magical radar is incredibly accurate. It just senses if there is any magic within 30 feet of you. It doesn't tell you how strong, it doesn't tell you what school, it doesn't tell you what direction. It's not a cone, it's a full aura around you. You can exclude magical items you're already aware of, so you can obviously exclude whatever the party already has, the couple talismans, the +1 rune etched into Dalren's glaive. But it is just a yes/no. So I will keep that in mind, that it will just tell you something has appeared.
I literally sense a disturbance in the force.
That's exactly what's happening. Dalren, are you
So Dalren actually is going to declare stealth. He's going to keep his...
So you've been practicing the stealth. I see how it's... I see.
I've always-
Learning from the best over here.
Well, I've found it quite useful in my travels to sometimes not be noticed. He'll keep his lit hand actually in his sleeve to hide the light
Okay,
as he
so
kind
you'll
of
just
stays by the door.
Hide it
by the walls.
entirely.
Yeah.
So are you not going to be in the front of the group anymore then? Because I figured you, Tyrannus, and Buddy were kind of the spearhead here.
Oh, I think it would make sense for me to be at the front of the group so that the person taking point is hard to notice.
That's fair, I suppose. So you'll be out front,
Sneaking in the dark.
trying to sneak, through the darkness. You have the light behind you, of course, coming out from Ruhr, because if he smothers that one, you're just in pitch darkness. So someone has to be the torchbearer.
Right.
Buddy,
I have my shield up.
you have your shield up immediately.
Walking carefully.
Nalren's creeping. You're behind him, shield raised.
Clinking.
You're gonna be the first one they see. Esvis.
I will be perceiving this time rather than scouting.
Okay, so you'll be searching for anything of value in Ruhr.
Well, I'm going to be pondering over the mysteries of why there are boggarts and tropical birds in the very cold hills.
In the basements of an
Oh, yeah,
abandoned
the basement.
citadel in some very cold winter
So just
hills.
recalling knowledge.
It is an odd one to be sure. All right, so where are you wanting to go? You wanted to head down that first hallway where the boggarts had come, looking
Off towards the noise.
Yeah, looking down through where you'd come in from the secret door behind you. There's three seemingly identical hallways, spidering out on your left and your right, and then the hallway just continues further forward beyond what your light cantrips even illuminate. So just into unknown darkness. It's a total mystery how many of these halls there could be, or how far this entryway goes.
At least 3.
So, I have also realized that while we fixed the audio issues and everything, this camera has gone back to randomly freezing. So, chat,
fun.
thank you guys for telling me that, and I do have to come all the way back over to this PC to fix that.
Well, I'll make sure to point out if you're not being very stealthy. You know,
Well,
give
if
you
you
some
can
tips.
notice it, then certainly I deserve the advice.
Quite.
So that will certainly continue happening throughout the show. Chat, I'm counting on you to let me know when it happens. Because that monitor is fully behind me. I can't see that. So thank you guys for telling us. Let us continue here. So as you, as a group, now move up this northern hallway, you make your way around a corner and up into a chamber where this all finally starts to kind of open up a bit. The door ahead of you is open. And approaching it, you can find a very... It's not even messy. It's actively dirty. It's unpleasant to even be in. It looked like it might once have been a bedchamber, but at this point, the frame of the bed has been destroyed, and they're splintered and ruined sets of drawers with a smashed desk as well, all sort of heaped up along the western and the northwestern corner of the chamber, just mashed up out of the way and physically broken to take up as much or as little space as possible, where they've set up some disgusting, greasy tents of what looks like almost an inherently oily material. And there are several moldy piles of cloth and spoiled goods and refuse just sort of around. And as you enter the room, Resme, you do detect some source of magic in here. So, Esvis is the searcher right now. You want to give me a perception check?
Total of 26.
He's
You,
got some good eyes.
I'm pretty sure that whenever you roll just any kind of perception, your die hears you and just lands on a 19 or a 20, and there's just nothing else going on over there. There's no middle ground there.
That wasn't a 19.
What was it, an 18?
Yeah.
He says gleefully.
Markedly different. Huge difference between those two things. So as you enter the room here and start to look around a bit, it's clear that this is where those two boggart warriors had poured forth from. There's another door to the right, which is still closed. And you can hear yourself approaching the source of some of the sound, what sounds like muffled conversation on the other side of it. But stopping here, peeking around to make sure there is no inherent danger, there is no like traps laid or anything behind them. Esphis, you are able to scrounge up a couple things of value. Some of these little moldy piles of cloth and rags look to be the Boggart's possessions. Why anyone would keep any of this, you are entirely unclear, but they don't seem like the cleanest sort of folk. Between the two piles, you find about 38 silver pieces total.
And a little bit of filth fever, maybe.
And
Do not. Do not.
the coins are minted differently than the ones you would find here. Much of the inner sea region shares a standard. Copper, silver, and gold pieces are the same sizes, the same weight. They carry the same value throughout the region, throughout the continent, as it simplifies trade throughout the region. But of course, the coins themselves are pressed and minted in different places and don't all share exactly the same faces. And I would dare say, Esphis, or any of you, have probably never seen these mints of coins before. They are certainly not Chelish or Isgari or Andoran. They are very different. One side of the silver pieces bears what appears to be a wide frond, thick, almost like a palm, where the other side bears the face of what looks like a snarling gorilla.
Dalrin comes from Osirian. Any chance that he may have seen this before?
Go ahead and roll me a society check.
That's a 13.
With a 13, they are not in fact Osirian, and you don't recognize their make, but you can tell that they are not Osirian.
Okay.
While she was with the Druid, she was in the Mwangi Expanse for a little bit. Does it seem like maybe it could come from there?
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a roll check there.
11.
So you were in the Mwangi Expanse for, like, it was a significant period of time while you were a druid, or was it something brief?
A couple of years.
Okay, so a couple of years then, yeah, you would, this is Mwangi currency.
What would Mwangi currency be doing here?
Oh, that would explain where these creatures came from. They certainly are dressed like it.
They've traveled a long way. I haven't seen that in years.
Should have brought winter clothing.
Nonetheless, silver is silver,
Indeed.
and they can't spend it when they're dead.
There's something magical in this room. I don't know where it is, but there's definitely some sort of emanation.
Now, you would also know, just a brief Pathfinder mechanics, that simple emanations like your cantrip detect magic aren't powerful enough to really go through walls. So even though it's a 30-foot range, which is significantly larger than the size of the room, you would know this magical signature almost certainly has to be in this room itself. Even the door, a wooden door, is enough to block this.
Maybe it's in one of the tents, or... I mean, if they were going to keep something magical, it would make sense to keep it someplace where they felt it was safe, covered.
Give me a moment.
And, Rur, you have Read Aura, right?
No.
You don't? No, does anybody have the Read Aura
Well,
cantrip?
I have it. It's not prepared.
It's not prepared. Okay. You had a 26 on your perception check, Esphis. So the difficulty here, I will allow either of you two, because none of us realize this, even though I know you're a sorcerer, you get, like, you don't really get to change spells, period. Because we have only recently learned the distinction between Detect Magic and Read Aura, and I didn't really realize it had been split into two spells, I will allow either or both of you, at one time, all expenses paid mulligan, to either have Read Aura prepared or to know Read Aura as one of your cantrips.
I'll trade Chill Touch for Read Aura.
Okay, because it is equally critical to Detect Magic, and we simply didn't know that. We're new to these adventures.
So do you want to do that and not have me have it permanently?
Yeah, because I can just pick it up whenever we need it.
That works.
Okay, so you'll be able to detect it, but you can't divine out exactly what items are. However, Rur can. And with your Read Aura and with Esphis here, looking around with absolute expert proficiency, tucked into the corner inside one of the tents, under a small mound of what you would like to tell yourself is dirt, you You are able to find a small onyx figurine. It's about an inch high, very, very small, and carved in the shape of a dog, sitting upright. This is the source of the magical aura. And Rur, you can tell with your read aura that it has it's shimmering with a black essence of magic, of conjuration.
Conjuration.
I have assigned a color to all of these. Necromancy is purple.
I like that.
Interesting. May I?
Of course.
I guess while they're studying that, Dalrin's going to move up to the door to try to listen to see if we've drawn any attention.
You sneak up towards the door.
And I'll go ahead and try to identify it.
You have quick identify now. So how long does that take?
1 minute.
It's literally just 1 minute.
just-
Okay,
yeah.
so you'll just stop for 60 seconds and try to figure out what this thing does while Dalren listens to her. So you, I roll that. That is a secret. So I will, because you can misidentify things. What is your Arcana
Plus
modifier?
5.
Plus 5? Is that your best one, Arcana?
Yeah.
Of Arcana,
It can be
occultism,
any of the
nature,
4.
Nature, religion.
I only have one of them. So
Okay, yeah, I
Arcana.
was just checking. Whatever your best spellcasting identify is. So as you look this over, this figurine here is a wondrous figurine, and what these are, they're almost literally miniaturized animals. And if you activate the magic in it, you can transform this tiny token into a jet black small onyx dog. The downside is that this one in particular largely seems to be a consideration that they had kept possibly for companionship, possibly for some other reason, because it's just a dog. It's not like there are a variety of wondrous figurines of things like ravens to send messages or horses to ride. This is just like a small terrier.
And it works more than once?
You feel like you could activate this magic daily.
Oh. This is...
Possibly even hourly. It's definitely reusable.
This is, it's essentially a stone of create puppy. I mean, you once a day, or maybe even more often, you have a puppy. I mean, it's not an attack dog or a dragon or anything, but you know, it'll follow you around and it's loyal, and maybe we'll give it a name.
Well, these guys don't sound too bad. Maybe sure wish we could speak to them or something. Now I feel
Well, they seemed rather hostile.
well,
and not
I
very
mean, they were
interested in
probably
speaking.
scared and alone in the dark.
Can
There's
I
2
keep
of them.
it?
Absolutely.
And they had a dog.
Get alone together
They had a dog.
in the dark
I'm gonna
with a
have a
dog
pup.
that they
Their
decided to spare.
introductory occurrence here with us was them bashing me across the room. I don't think they're exactly
After we
friendly.
killed their birds.
But they just want companionship. Maybe they thought we were a threat to their dog.
See, I'm likely to side with this lady over here. She's, you know, I feel like maybe
I'm
we're
partial to
stepping
not
on.
getting hit over the head.
There are
It's
also,
not fun.
There are also several goblins that you spoke with that also conveyed that they had been terrorized by strange creatures matching this description, so perhaps that should be something to keep in mind.
It was kind of
Okay.
a recent.
Well, I guess we'll figure out what to do with the puppy later. For now, I guess let's continue on.
Indeed.
So meanwhile, Dalren has been listening at the door here, and what you can definitely make out several voices on the other side of this, though you can't understand what they're saying. You're almost positive it's not Haldane. They're almost certainly speaking something completely different. But what's interesting is it almost seems like it's not just multiple voices. It seems like it's entirely different species on the other side of this door conversing with each other.
So these cultists seem a cosmopolitan lot. Different voices, but
What does that mean exactly?
A lot different.
they sound from all
Very
over.
varied. Very varied.
Do we want to assume they're hostile and try to take them by surprise?
I think that's the assumption they've given us.
Okay.
Either way, they're cultists down here potentially disturbing the crypts.
All right.
Can't be allowed.
And Tyrannus nods. Agreed. They have shown us no reason to give them trust.
If they surrender, we'll accept it. But if they deem to fight us, we can't show them mercy. They won't show us any.
All right.
All right.
What is the plan?
Probably be best. We could open the door and rush in and engage. Try to catch them unawares.
Right,
It sounds like the voices. It sounds like the voices are like right on the other side of the door, right?
It sounds like they're pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and I'll split these.
Esphus and I will
Tokens
stay
out
in the
here.
rear.
Yep, I'll stand right behind the front line like I typically do, which is not safe, but I'll do it.
So how do you guys can arrange yourselves on the map however you want. I'm just splitting the tokens out. I just put them in what seemed like a somewhat logical organization, but that obviously it's up to you guys. You want to stick with that.
Are you sure you want to be standing in front of this door right here? I mean, you know, I've got more of a shield than you do.
Yes, that makes sense. We'll change our locations. Is that where you
Right.
want to be?
Yeah, back there.
Oh, okay.
So
don't wanna be up
Tyrannus
front.
can be
The
here.
door's
The
right
door's here.
here.
You realize,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, the door's directly in front of
I'm short and I can't see what any of that is.
There you go.
Okay, so
So-
we're looking at this.
Oh, you want to be right?
Yeah,
right
I want to
behind
be
Buddy?
right behind Buddy.
Yeah, you're
gosh.
right up in clubbing range.
Hold the line.
All right, so as you organize here, ready your weapons, Tyrannus regrips his halberd blade towards the door, waiting for Buford's signal, which I imagine will be abrupt.
Not, yeah.
There you go.
Well, you're at the door, Buford. So you just want to boot the door in. So ready to jump. Upon
Everybody
these-
looks at me and I look back at them. They're like,
Let's go.
okay. And I.
Ready to jump with the element of surprise upon these Cinderclaws. Buford bashes the door open to reveal another door behind it. And now angry croaking. Certainly on the backside of that one. Let's go ahead and roll us some initiative, everybody. I appreciate the enthusiasm.
I do not like.
Oh, natural 20.
I do not like the way that they designed this stupid citadel.
The hot double door action. You'll love to see it. So immediately you hear the terrifying, almost battle cry, the croak of a boggard. But along with that, you hear screeching monkeys, and it sounds like a lot of them on the other side of that door. So, Esphus,
28.
Oh my god.
just a cheater.
Yeah.
Take that d20 away from your boy. Dalren.
With my stealth score instead of my perception, I have a 27.
Oh, look at that. Look at him get in there. Screeching monkeys. Perhaps slightly quieter screeching monkeys. Sirenscape's very excited about its monkeys today. Rur.
Well, upon seeing that second door, I trip up. I got a 9.
You were not
I was
ready.
not ready
You're
for
not
there
ready
to be
for
another
this.
door.
Where's the edge of my camera on this? It's all the way over. Okay, so it's right past this little fold. Perfect. All right, that's the very edge. Resume?
18.
18. Solid.
Yeah, no, that's actually subpar considering the group we run in.
Buddy.
I'm really moving up in the world and got a 13.
Oh, baby, you are above Rur. You did it.
It only took a hard one.
But what matters is that you did it. Alright, our friendly neighborhood boggards are going to be rolling on a 25, which puts them, unfortunately, below Esphus and Dalren. And however many screeching monkeys may be out there, well, they seem to be more interested in the screeching and the hooting.
They're eating bananas.
They're confused. They're not really positive what's going on. They just heard a door get slammed after the alarm had already been raised a bit. What did you get, buddy?
13.
And you got a 9? Buddy beats all the monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
All right, Esphus. You're up first, unfortunately, kind of in the back with a second door.
I think we're missing one.
Oh, I need Tyrannus. Tyrannus, right, your boy. I gotta roll your boy. Oh my gosh, he did it, Tyrannus. You're not at the bottom. You are, in fact,
Hey.
all the way up here. Look at this. He's moving up in the world. Making us proud. He was ready this time. He got an opportunity to prepare.
I will hold action since I have no targets. And I will... Dalrin, the door, please.
Dalrin's like, oh.
Dalrin?
Let's see. I'm going to think to myself for a bit. Activate Dragon Rage. Lightning will crackle around, and he'll take a readied stance. I'm going to ready a strike, and he'll just kind of bark out. We'll cut them down as they come at us through the door.
All right. Tyrannus is also going to ready his halberd then. And nod wordlessly. And fortunately, again, Boggard's not super smart. The Boggard opens the door, sees the group of you out here. I mean, he can see Buddy standing clearly in the door, foot still probably extended from booting with his shield up and his breastplate and his cowboy hat, and he sees numerous halberds bristling around the side of the doorframe here. They're not super tactical. They're not the world's most intelligent. They're not complete idiots.
Is that Boggart 10 feet away from me?
I would give you and Tyrannus, if you both wanted to take your swings here, he has certainly got cover because he is all the way through the double doors, but you've also both got reach weapons. So if you want to cooperatively just try and chop down here, as it appears he is certainly not coming in.
That works for me.
Take some swings.
So I'm curious. That door's open, right?
Both doors are open, yes.
Isn't the light on me?
The light is on you.
Why isn't it extending in the hallway?
It is in the hallway. You wouldn't be able to see anything.
I can't see anything from like the angle. I thought that it literally wasn't going.
Oh,
No, it would-
so, see?
It would,
Yeah.
it would be black.
Yeah,
If you
I
didn't have
literally
it.
can't see that from here, so I thought
Okay.
it was black.
And you can see behind the Boggart, there is what appears to be a small battle-armed monkey. The thing is about 3 feet tall, with kind of very similar height armor to what the Boggart has on, with a whip in one hand and a sickle on its hip. It's
Trying to take my style right
you
there.
can hear the screeching from an assortment of battle monkeys echoing from around the hall.
That is not what I expected to see when I woke up this
I'm
morning.
going to try to keep a straight face every time you say battle monkey. I'm
All
going
right,
to try.
well, give me a swing on this Boggart.
Alrighty, Boggart swing. That's an 18.
An 18 through the doorway.
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry. No, even less.
Okay, and it's going to miss through the doorway. And Tyrannus will also take his swing as the target makes no signs of coming forward. And he's going to miss that one as well. You can barely reach him. It's difficult to get the angle here. Neither of you were able to land this opening hit.
May I come in after that? After they
Yeah,
take
you
their
can
swings?
come in. You can come in exactly after Boggart, man. I'll put you in there.
Okay, thank you.
And then need more easily movable initiative trackers. That's a coming. That's the next project. And then the Boggart is going to launch his tongue through the doors towards Buford. He doesn't want to go in. He's breaking you out. What's your AC?
My AC is 20.
20? He doesn't want to get his tongue cut off, but the flurry of blades lashing down the hallway. So both of you kind of take these sort of cautious strikes. There's little you can do from the angle, and he shoots his tongue out, but he second guesses himself and pulls it back in before it even gets all the way to Buford. And then he is going to step back.
Let the monkeys handle it.
Step back around the corner, leaving the monkey there in the doorway alone.
It's like, nope, not doing that.
Since I can see the monkey, I get to recall knowledge on it, right?
Yeah, you can give me that's a society check.
It's a 2.
All right.
It's a battle monkey.
This appears to be a battle monkey. Looking at this thing as it's getting ready to fight, as they've sort of mustered here, as the alarm was raised, He's got a whip in his hand and a sickle on his belt, but with his free hand, he's not reaching for the sickle. He's reaching for a bit of like stone rubble on the ground near him. He seems to be much more interested in throwing things than actually closing the melee. But otherwise, you have no. It just looks like a sentient monkey. It's a chimpanzee with armor. So Esvis and then Resme, you're on deck.
Esvis, after seeing the boggart,
And you can't see a lot of them right now, but you can go put a boggart token right around that corner, and then here's a monkey. And here's 3 more monkeys for later.
Just put them over here.
Put them on the
foreshadowing.
side. You may need those shortly.
With the boggart stepping around the corner, Esvis of course, you down and hunt prey.
So you have hunted this monkey.
Yes, and hunted shot.
All right.
So this is
So
for 2 actions.
he's got cover from here because you're shooting through like a 5-foot little antechamber. If you step over, so you're behind Rur, so it's only really just Buddy in the way, he'll have lesser cover. It's a 1-point difference, but
Hunted shot ignores cover
right,
of my
right,
prey.
right. You don't care. You got that special arrow.
Okay. Total of 14.
And a 14 is going to miss.
I'm gonna spend a reroll for that.
All right.
I want to shoot the monkey.
Shot as a monkey.
So just for consistency, give me the rerolls before you give me your total number. Doesn't matter. Go ahead and reroll. I mean, I'm pretty sure you knew a 14 wasn't gonna hit, but
18.
18 will in fact do it because you are ignoring cover. Hunted shot value. These monkeys are pretty quick and they are a bit armored too, but it's mostly just their speed and their small stature that makes them pretty tough targets. But you are a skilled archer. You land an arrow.
For exactly 1 point of damage.
Woo! We'll go ahead and put that one here. 1. You graze him. Is that all 3 of your
Yes,
actions
that's all 3
there?
actions.
Hunted shot is 2 actions.
Correct.
Right. Resme and then Buddy, you're on deck.
Resme will move up behind Buddy a little bit so that she can see what's actually going on. And then she will shout out Ducatus, and a puddle of grease, a large puddle of grease, will appear on the monkey and extending out behind him.
Okay. How much area does that fill up these days?
It extends 4 contiguous 5-foot squares.
So, behind him.
To the left, like
to the
wherever,
left of him.
To the left of him. From where I'm sitting, it's behind him.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, because
fair
I'm
enough.
looking at that screen.
Fair enough. Let me see. This is the difficulty. I'm not entirely positive.
But it's also moving into it, so they don't really have to be standing in it. They're going to have to come into it to get here anyway.
So you want to put it. You're thinking like on the
There.
monkey and then out to the left?
Yeah.
All right, just extending out leftwards this row of these.
Yep.
And then I can take all of these and move them underneath the monkey. We've got little oil marker things.
And then she'll throw up a shield.
And then he needs to make a save immediately, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Reflex, I assume?
Yep, 18.
He is going to fail.
Okay.
So is
The
he...
monkey's not ready.
Yeah, Monkey just got hit by an arrow. Monkey was not super prepared. He's busy trying to dodge Esvis' shot, which he did mostly effectively. So what happens?
He is going to, he loses his balance. He's not standing anymore. He falls.
Okay, so the monkey dodges an arrow, and as he comes back down from this quick motion, this grease appears on the floor beneath his feet. He just slips and falls
Prone.
on the ground. Okay, and then that brings us to Buddy. Then the monkeys and Ruri after that.
So how does moving people who don't want to be moved work?
For what purpose?
If I wanted to grab someone around a turn and bring them somewhere.
I do not believe that is a thing you can do in 2nd edition unless you have weird feats.
Okay.
1st edition had the drag combat maneuver. That doesn't exist. You could get behind him and shove him, but
Okay.
dragging was something you could do when you had somebody grappled in first, and grappled is very different now. You would have to have some kind of ability that allows you to pull him towards you. Otherwise, again, get behind him and shove.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I will I'm going to step forward and move forward one square, and I'm going to. I too have a whip. Oh, but I don't have my whip out. I have my hammer out. Darn it. Okay.
You can just drop.
Don't interrupt.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm going to I have my warhammer out. I'm just going to try and like swing around this turn here, and get the guy that stepped back. Hopefully he stepped back just around the corner.
So he's gonna swing. So you have from here. He would have cover, and you also have total concealment because there's no light there. So you have a 50% chance to miss, and he has +2 to his AC from cover because you step back into complete darkness.
Okay.
You don't have any source of light on. I mean, you can definitely do that. It sounds like you certainly step back right there. He kind of emits like a constant, that exact noise.
He slurps milk all the time.
I don't know. A constant low croak
Okay.
coming out. So you're sure he's there, but you can't see him.
Yeah, I'll just go for it. It's fine.
All right, take a swing.
Taking a swing. So that is pretty good. 13 on the die, and then +8. 13 on the die, so what?
21. So then give me another d20.
With a 16.
And that will pass the concealment. So you just reach around the corner with your warhammer and just swing it into this boggart and you step back.
Yeah, that's more like it. 1d8.
It'd be kind of hard to miss something constantly croaking.
So that is 6 damage.
6 damage to the boggart.
And then
A good start, but you know from your initial encounter that they are fairly sturdy.
Then I'm gonna move back again.
Step up, swing the hammer, step back. The Battle of Doorway Pass has begun. So,
anybody have any good ideas? I'm a little short here.
this monkey here on the ground in the hallway, as he falls on the ground and just scrambles with his free hand, grabbing for a piece of stone or anything, picks up just a chunk of busted mortar and chucks it through the doorway at you.
18.
And these guys... It is just barely going to bounce across your pauldron, striking you, but not doing any meaningful damage. He is going to scramble to his feet and try to kind of cautiously... I guess he can actually just crawl. That's just an action in second edition. He's just going to crawl out of the grease. He's going to crawl over to the left out of your line of sight here. And then another of the monkeys is going to move up to the doorway with another piece of just broken debris in his hand, sling it at you, and then move back into the darkness. They're making just these quick tosses through the doorway. They're not staying in your... No, he
Did
came
he move
in...
to the north, or did he move? Did he move?
He moved in from the south and moved back to the south.
Okay.
And this one is going to hit you.
Okay. Interesting fight so far. Okay.
And as it strikes, you are going to take 8 damage, as they seem to sling these not just surprisingly hard for their small stature, but phenomenally accurately. In a way almost as damaging as Esphus taking a shot with his bow. In the distance, this monkey passed his save against grease, so he's not on the ground. So how does moving through grease work? What does he have to do?
He needs to make a save unless he's stepping carefully, i.e. just one
Just
square
steps.
or crawling.
Well,
Any action.
he gonna step back. You hear more of them positioning in the distance. And another one comes out of the doorway from the north, from behind the boggart, flinging another piece of debris before retreating back behind him. That one as well is also going to hit you, Buford. And you are going to take 9 damage.
Oh my god.
As they sling these large chunks like cannonballs at you. All 3 of them bouncing across and 2 just pounding into you. Rur. The doorway strat seems to be going a little better for them at the moment.
Close the door, make them come to us, and then we'll deal with them. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my healer's tools and tend to that impact wherever it landed. And
You see several just clunks into Buddy as he didn't get his shield up that time, and he just eats a bunch of handfuls of boulder and debris for his trouble.
And then after that, I will step back to make room for this. That's a 15.
Okay, so Buddy gets 2d8 health as you are very quickly triaged.
12.
Ooh, that's a solid 2d8. That's pretty good.
And then I will, exactly right there.
That's kind of what I figured. Brings us back to Dalren, and then it'll be Tyrannus before the Boggart X again.
Seems to be a pretty bad situation here. What do you think?
Dalren's gonna delay.
Okay.
And he'll just look to Buddy and Tyrannus and say, we push in or we lure them here.
And Tyrannus, with his halberd still watching in the doorway, trying to make some, making some brief, at least feints towards these monkeys as they pass by, but unable to really do anything as they flit back and forth through cover. You have the lights. The darkness does not seem to bother them. Move forward.
In that case, Dalren will step in.
And Tyrannus is, I mean, it's the same thing. Effectively,
Well,
Tyrannus
is
is also
Tyrannus
delaying.
just going to tell me to go in there but not go in there
Tyrannus
himself?
is, well, he doesn't, there's no light, he can't see. He's also going to delay. So if you're stepping back
Okay,
in,
so
the
he's
initiative's
delaying,
not
that's
actually going to
fine.
change because
Okay.
you guys are just
So Dalren's
staggered.
going to step forward and push in, revealing the light as he does so.
All right, and as you...
That is a very
more.
small room there.
There we go. Okay.
As you move up to the hallway,
So we've got Boggart, Monkey,
you can see that there is
Monkey,
the line of this grease spell splashing across the back of a 10-foot hallway running north to south. The Boggart is right next to you, waiting with the club in his hand. And there are 2 monkeys to your right, 2 monkeys behind the Boggart to the left, all of them scrabbling for more things to try to throw
So-
in this broken hallway here.
Dalren's going to step up to engage the monkeys to the south and take a slash with his geese arm to cut the one as he moves directly.
And you can
to
see
them.
the one to your left as you move south in the hallway here is the one that's been clipped by the arrow already. He is slightly injured.
Okay, I'll hit him then.
All right.
That's going to be a session reroll.
You
Okay.
take those,
Good
thank
2
you.
on the die there. Ah, yes, I like it. I like it.
Dice
Put the
jail.
Dice jail.
We have a dice jail now. It's a pretty good thing. I don't think it's on this camera.
I
here.
got 2 to a 3. 2 dice in the
Put
dice
the dice jail on the screen.
Is that...
There you go.
There we go.
Affected dice prison. 2 d20s have been banished so far this session. But he is going to step forward.
And I will... You missed. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to step forward. You missed terribly and just be unable to mount any sort of offense here. But with light in the hallway now, and Buford still visibly a bit injured, Tyrannus will step forward as well. He will come up into the room and just fight the other direction. So you guys are sort of back to back here. He turns his attention to the Boggart and the 2 monkeys behind him as you fight the 2 monkeys on the southern end of the hallway. And give me 1 second to figure out why exactly your light is so dark.
That's why I guess
Like-
I thought that I had no light.
You have light, it's just super dark. There we go. Let me fix your lights. I can see it. I don't know why you're specifically, you had the bad light. Your light, you had a bum light spell.
Damn it, I knew that thing was faulty.
You weren't great at cantrips. And he is just going to power attack the Boggart as he steps through. He's going to bring his halberd in as hard as he can and try to just cut down this massive frog warrior so we can deal with the monkeys behind him. Ooh, that's certainly going to hit. Oh, that's 1 off of critting. It's not going to crit. Come on, Tyrannus. We need you here, buddy. But still, that's going to do...
He could have maintained the track record of cleaving Boggards in half
8
on 1 hit.
plus 6 is 14, plus 4 is 18 damage to the Boggart. So he's going to come in here and take a mighty swing. And at that point, after that attack, the Boggart looks relatively crippled. A truly debilitating swing. And the Boggart is going to attempt to swing back with his club, dueling Tyrannus here. He's going to miss the first swing as Tyrannus bats it to the side with his own assault. miss the second. he in here dueling. Before the boggart is just going to try to actually run back behind the other two monkeys.
Go get him, monkeys!
He's not going great for this boggart. He's going to retreat back past these other two into the darkness. And as he goes, with his free hand, he punches one of the monkeys as he passes and yells something. Dunga chunga! And points back. Tung! Towards Tyrannus as he retreats. Tyrannus is going to take this distraction to make an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Which he is going to critically hit.
Don't run from me.
Don't worry, guys. The GMPC is here. He's going to hit for... So 8. Okay, those were low rolls. Another 8. And actually 12. It's actually less damage than he was doing previously. It's not quite going to bring the boggart down. The boggart is going to just barely limp away, grievously injured as he leaves the monkeys before him. The monkeys look uncertain. And as he gets hit, he just calls out, Ho! Gunda! Mo! Mo! And the monkeys just kind of look at each other and look at Tyrannus. Concerned? Esvis.
So from where I'm standing, I can't see.
There is not much to that doorway anymore.
Okay. I will attempt to move so I can try to see. Will this give me... oh, sorry. Will this give me a...
Right behind you, maybe?
Right behind her, or will I need to move?
I would say, yeah, I'll let you shoot this this Charaka that's next to Dalren. Yeah, you can certainly see that one.
Okay, and I will again take Hunted Shot to negate its cover since it's my prey.
Okay. Oh, that is still the same
That's still
one.
the
Yep,
same
that's
one.
still the prey.
Actually,
How's it going, buddy?
total of 14, so that's a miss.
14 is going to miss. It's just, even with your ability to ignore his cover, there's just so much in the way. He's able to pretty easily keep something between you and him and make it almost impossible to get a beat on him from the
And that's
distance.
it for me. That's all 3.
All right, Resme. Buddy, you're on deck.
Resme can't really see anything at the moment, I guess. So I guess she's gonna have to step forward a little.
Okay, and then, yeah, you would also be able to still see that same one. The same one that's been bullied by everybody in this room because it's the only one that's in view from this room.
Not terribly successful.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's going pretty okay. You fell down and you took a little bit of an arrow, but it's mostly all right.
And she will call down the lightning upon him, and because he needs the lightning right now. And I guess she can't see his friend enough to call down the lightning upon him as well.
No, I would say at the moment you can only see the one, unfortunately. So you're just going to be calling down lightning on him specifically.
That's okay. I don't like him. Okay, he can take 6 damage.
Does he? It's a reflex save. That one's not a spell
No,
attack.
it's yeah, that's a reflex
okay.
save.
That was not a spell attack roll. He is. What's your DC?
18.
Oh, he's gonna regular fail. Almost critically fails, but he's gonna regular fail. So yeah, he's gonna take the 6 damage.
And Resme will throw up a shield.
All right, buddy, and then
So,
all of the monkeys.
So Dalren rushes past me on one side, and Hellknight rushes in past the other side, and I'm like, wait a minute, now I am here supposed to be the front of this party. And I rush through the door and go just on the other side of Tyrannus.
You run in, chasing after the retreating boggart as you come around the corner here.
Yep. I was just gonna try and get around that corner, see if I can't do some damage over here. I'm kind of bull rushing a bit with my shield out because I expected that guy to be there. So as he's not there and there's this monkey, I'm just gonna go swing my arm with the shield and just shield bash this monkey in front of me.
Okay.
And let me see if I can do that. Ah, that's pretty good. 21 again.
21 hits.
And then that is 1d6 plus 4. So that is a 6.
6 damage.
6 piercing there. And then I am going to raise my shield.
So the monkeys do look to be much less sturdy than the boggards, and 6 damage here and 6 damage there. The two that are the closest to the door are already starting to look pretty injured. They're very quick. They hurl this debris and these bits of splintered furniture with surprising strength. They're not particularly hardy. And as they look back towards the retreating boggart and see you run through here. And Tyrannosaurus is going for another swing. Buddy just rushes him in front of him. What are you doing? Like,
Hey,
stops,
here.
halting. The monkeys are just piled in. The one in front of Dalren that's just standing there is going to grab his sickle with his free hand. And seeing the reach of your weapon, there's a door behind him, but it's pretty close to you. He judges his odds, figures his best bet is just to start swinging. What's your AC?
Dalren's AC is an 18 while raging.
All right, he is going to swing with the sickle. That's going to miss. And then he is going to lash out with the whip in his other hand, down towards your legs and attempt to trip you.
Okay.
Your fortitude DC?
Fortitude DC is 17.
And, well, this seems to be the recurring theme of whips and trip attempts. He's a small
It's a good weapon,
little
I tell
creature with a fairly small little whip, and he lashes it down towards your foot, and you basically do the same thing the warg did. You
Flower the spear and yank it out of his
and just
hand.
yank it out of his hand, and you take the whip from him. And then the wounded one next to you, he is going to he's going to step up back into the grease, realizing they need more room here, and he is going to attempt to open the door behind him. Not so much calling out in any kind of words, but like screaming and hooting through the doorway. He gets very, very loud as he starts moving, shrieking. And that trying to open the door is an interact action, which provokes attacks of opportunity. Is it interact or manipulate that provokes AOS? I'm going to say
Manipulate.
opening the door provokes an attack of opportunity. So Tyrannus is definitely going to take his. He's not going to pass up any swing, especially because there's a buddy in the way of his other target. Do you want to take yours?
I am a barbarian and do not have that reaction.
Right, you're not Marn.
I'm not Marn.
My brain went back to Marn for some reason.
Oh,
Fall
he's
Plague
got some
Stone.
cool tricks he
So
could
it's
do,
good.
Marn, but yeah, no.
Actually, just Tyrannus. So Tyrannus is going to slap him as he goes to open the door. He's going to hit him for 14 damage,
Oof.
and he's going to kill him.
And no noise out of you.
No door, no screeching, no
Bad
door.
monkey.
Oof.
You stop.
In
He
monkey
goes to the
language, it
door,
was like, help!
and just and cuts him down for an immediate silence. And looking around the room here, seeing how many exits there appear to be to this hallway, calls out, "They're falling back for reinforcements! Stops them!" And we have two more monkeys who have been commanded to stop Buddy. So one of them is going to draw a sickle, and he's going to try to do the same thing. He's going to try to trip you with his whip first. What's your fort DC?
My fort DC is a 9. 9? What, 19?
19.
19, that's what I meant. Sorry. Plus 9.
He also critically fails because
You think you're going to outwhip me? Excuse me.
clearly he is not. No, he is determined that he is not going to outwhip you. And as you stuff on the whip, he goes the whip around your leg. What do you do? He critically fails.
Yeah, he goes to whip around, and I've been practicing this with my boys. They've been learning how to whip. I step on the end of it. I just step on the end of it, and as the momentum of his arm keeps going, the whip just stops and it goes bloop.
And he just it pulls taut, and he falls down to the ground, still hanging out of the whip, and then tries to bring it around from the ground, and try to bring you down again, which he does. So you are now both prone.
Wait, he didn't drop it the first time?
You can choose to drop it. You chose to fall prone.
Oh, he
Because
chose to- okay,
you fall
okay,
prone,
okay,
you critically
okay.
fail a trip. If you have a trip weapon, you
Gotcha.
can drop the weapon and say, "No, I'm falling
Okay.
prone. That's cool." You
Gotcha.
want to try it again, and he succeeded the second time.
Uh-huh.
So now you're both prone
Yep.
here in the hallway, and while you're laying on the ground, he is going to attempt to smack you with his sickle. He's gonna critically succeed. So
Out of 20?
it's a nat 20.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So it all worked out. It was all a part of the plan.
Ah, I see.
Drag you down to his level and beat you with experience. I got a math, because the nat 20 actually might not... Because it's a sickle. No, it actually just hits. Because the nat 20, he has a total of a -2. So it's an 18, so it fails. The fact that it's a nat 20 makes it a success. So the nat 20 means he hits you, but he does not critically hit you. He's done it. He's dragged you down to his level and beat you with experience.
I didn't think we'd be seeing the natural 20 not critting for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it turns out when it's your third attack and also you're prone.
Yeah.
You're
it's a third attack.
flat-footed because you're prone. Your AC is 18. He does crit you.
All right, well, I can, here, I fall under my shield here.
And yeah, you can certainly still shield block because your shield's still raised. But yeah, his -2 is negated by the fact that you're flat-footed because you're both prone. So he crits you for 10 damage.
Okay, so then I, shield block that. Because I'm on the ground and there's not a whole lot of me left for him to hit. I'm mostly under my shield.
Mostly
here.
just shield.
Mostly
He
just shield.
digs the sickle into your steel shield. So that's a hardness 5.
That is hardness 5, yeah.
So yeah, you and the shield both take 5 damage.
Yeah.
And then that brings us to the last monkey, who, as Buford gets dragged to the ground in front of him, is just going to continue picking up bits of stone and busted furniture from this hallway and chucking them over Buford towards Tyrannus. The first throw is going to hit him. The second throw is going to hit him. The third throw is going to miss. So he's going to take 2 chunks of debris here for 4 and 7 damage. So 11 damage total.
They don't have to ready the rocks. They can just like freaking
They
pitch
just
them.
scoop them and chuck them.
Man.
They scoop them and chuck them as one action.
Wow. Okay.
They are throwing weapon specialists.
They are.
And that brings us to Rur. And Dalren, you're on deck.
I hear a lot of things
A
happening.
lot of monkey screeching, a lot of clanging. You see Tyrannus in the doorway getting hit by large boulders, cutting down a monkey who tries to run past him into the grease next to him.
So I'm going to move up to behind Tyrannus, just so I can get eyes on what's going on in this room.
You see shenanigans unfolding before you.
I'm going to look down the hall. I can't see the boggart anymore.
You can see the boggart because the corner does not, the hallway doesn't appear to dip away far enough that you can completely get out of your view. You can just barely see him at the edge of your vision, just barely around Dalren's light.
You know what time it is. The light of Sarenrae reaches all. Divine Lance.
So he's got cover. I'm sure you don't care.
Not at all. I might care. That was an,
Collect these session rerolls.
that was an 8 on the
You're
die.
gonna need some of them channel point hero points, chat.
Converted into a 19 for a total of 27.
27 critically succeeds.
Pretty sure that's just
Pretty
double,
sure it just
double
doubles
damage.
the damage. On the
Yeah.
raw damage spells, it's almost always just double.
For I don't roll 2 dice. They're both a 3. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's irrelevant, but yeah, you
Okay.
roll one and double it.
Yeah, so that's 14.
14 damage. As
The light reaches
Divine
all.
Lance blasts into this boggart, and you can barely see any of him as he darts away into the darkness. And as your like searing blast of holy energy briefly illuminates this corridor, as it strikes into the boggart, who slams into a wall right there before just crumpling on the ground at the foot of a heavily barricaded door that you can see that is physically boarded over to keep it shut, with heaps of stone and broken furniture piled in front of it. But as he goes down, and as the monkeys here dealing with everything are seeing yet more people coming through the doorway in this display of magic, the one with a sickle dug into Buford's shield here immediately pulls it out, drops his sickle, and tries to scrabble back away from Buford. The one behind him, the two that the boggart had just run past, also kind of gets low and backs up and does not reach for their piece of debris and seems to break off his attack. Dalren, the one next to you is still fighting.
All right, well, I'm not putting up with that. That sounds like a foe I can perceive.
That is certainly a foe you can perceive, Raging Barbarian.
All right. So
Not for long.
have to strike low on this one. Try to catch it with a slash. Much better. The die has learned from the example of its peers.
Dice Jail has set a precedence.
That's a 26.
26 will hit.
And that's going to be 11 lightning damage.
And 11 lightning damage. I believe this one is unharmed. 11 lightning damage courses through this southern monkey.
And another smash, another smash. That's going to be a 16.
16's going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to dip that one.
And last shot I've got... nothing too much, really. But I heal... I'll just shout at it. Be angry. Intimidating
It's screaming,
glare.
you're going to scream back.
I'm going to scream back and lightning will crackle around me for an intimidation check. Of 9.
Yeah, he's not terrified. He's concerned.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's happening with this lightning man in front of him.
I know,
but,
right? I'm the least intimidating person in this hallway.
He's not going to cower. Not quite yet. Tyrannus, turning from whatever is happening with Buford and his opponent here, both laying on the ground in front of him, back to Dalren to see this one still very much mounting an assault, is, well, we're ranked fighting now. This is exactly what halberds are for.
Yep.
He's right behind you. He's going to swing right past. He is going to mega whiff that power attack. He's seems to be very caught off guard by whatever is taking place in this combat here. This is not what he was expecting, and with that, he's just going to attempt one more swing that was really doomed from the start. He put all of his weight into the first one. Esvis, and then Resme.
I hear the sound of things falling down. His buddy on his back, and Esvis will move into the room to be. I have just enough movement to get to here, I believe.
Alrighty, so there I'm going to need you to make a reflex save against Resme's spell DC. Because that is her grease.
Fair enough.
We've
I
got
don't know if
grease
I
and
want you
To be
to
fair,
lightning.
you haven't been able to see it yet. You push
Yeah.
past this pile of people. Whoa!
Oh, this is true.
I don't know if I want you to make it or not.
What's the DC for you?
18.
17. I failed by 1.
You run into the room, push past Ver,
You're looking at
and
Buford
Tyrannus
is turtling.
step into the grease, distracted by the Buford turtling, and just slip and fall on your back. You are now prone.
So this is what it feels like. Esvis is just going. So Esvis is going to just look upside down. Oh, and
He's talented. Don't question
Turn it
him.
sideways and free-hand it backwards over your head and just...
hunt prey first.
You!
You didn't see this. And
No witnesses.
and hunted shot for 2 shots.
So you are a -2 for being prone. For trying to freehand a longbow upside down on your back. That's a -2.
I'm also volley 30, so is that
So
an
it's a
additional
minus,
-1?
another -2, so you have a
So it's
-4.
4. Cool. Okay.
Doesn't
So-
matter.
This is not the situation the longbow was crafted for, I tell you that.
Nope. So first shot is a total of 20.
20 will hit.
The gods know cool
Esmus
points.
hears you. Esmus don't care.
For 1 point of damage.
Consistency. I'm going to give you consistency.
Second shot. Woo. 13.
13's going to miss. Resume.
Resme mentally notches something as her first friend has fallen. And we'll try to move up into the room into the space behind Esvis. She knows the grease is there, so she's going to
You
avoid
know
it.
exactly where the grease is. You're going to slip through this ranked fighting, and as you once again cut in front of Tyrannus here, as he's in this massive swing, and you come through, what? What are you doing?
Heads up!
Then stops once again.
That's why you missed.
That's why I missed.
And Resme, seeing the two monkeys trying to escape in the back, will go, "Oh, no, you don't." And bring lightning down on both of them.
The surrendering ones.
You literal surrender monkeys. I will abide no such shenanigans.
And they'll have to make reflex
Yep.
saves. One of them
So,
is prone.
Front monkey he's prone and he critically succeeds. It all courses around him in the grease on the floor. The one behind him is going to fail.
And the one behind him. Sorry.
Whoa!
I'm just gonna throw dice around.
I caught that one.
The first one will take it's a
Nothing. Critically
succeeds.
nothing.
6.
Okay, you just you roll it once and apply to everyone. So
Sorry,
the one in the back.
6.
So the one in the back is going to take 6 damage as this lightning arcs between him and the grease pool. And Buddy.
Now wait here one moment, and I see them running off, and
Not running off, but they haven't stopped attacking you for the moment. They're not running.
so I'm gonna look at it.
This one dropped his sickle though.
I'm gonna look at it. We're both lying on the ground, eye to eye. And I look at it, and I lower my hammer. And I just keep staring at it real hard and kind of bring my shield up a little bit.
Don't you do it.
But I'm going to be looking at him real hard.
As you bring your shield up, the monkey, because he still has his whip. He lets go of his whip. And puts his hands up real slow in front of him. Still just laying on the ground.
I'm gonna
Very close
nod
to
at
you.
him very slowly.
The monkey at the bottom was just been flailing with a sickle on the left wildly and effectively against this lightning demon. Sees a lady come up and shoot more lightning and is convinced, you're not sure what, but clearly fighting here is a mistake. A man just barrel rolled into the room, held a longbow sideways upside down and shot him.
That alone that's terrifying.
Adventurers are clown carring through this doorway. A wizard just came out next to the man made of lightning and shot a bunch of lightning at his friends. And he is also going to come to the conclusion that perhaps it is time to stop attempting to punch you. And he is going to step back towards the doorway. This one seems to be a lot more terrified. He doesn't drop his weapons. He keeps both of them held up in front of him, sort of in a defensive posture here, and looks at the two of you elven lightning monsters standing together, and just says, Moda! Moda! Kungo! Moda! With his weapons held high. I am positive none of you speak this language, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip that part. You speak Mwangi? You were there.
She doesn't. She was there with the
So
druids.
you would be able to tell from like being around them that he is speaking Mwangi.
Yeah, like I know what he's
But you
speaking. I
don't
can't
know
understand what
Mwangi?
he's saying.
Yeah.
He seems to be taking a defensive posture, though.
Yeah, he's definitely a step back. Ruhr.
Well, seeing as he still has his weapons, but he's not being hostile, I'm going to peek around the corner, pick up a rock, hold it out, and drop it, pointing at him. And I'm going to attempt to yell at him and roll an intimidation check to
Okay.
see if
I
I
will
can spook
drop
him
a
into
rock
dropping
at
his
you.
stuff.
Oh.
There's like, drop it.
That's an 8. No, not really.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't
that's-
really get what I'm trying to say, I guess.
I mean, maybe he does, but he is already like fully
Yeah.
intimidated, I suppose. But he is in like defensive, cowering against the doorway, intimidated rather than acquiesced to all your requests, intimidated.
Yeah.
But anything else,
That's it.
Dalran?
It seems as though that they're properly cowering. No one's challenging him right now. Would that seem as though it'd be good enough to quell his dragon rage?
How offended were you by these monkeys and their actions?
They never
They're
hit
all
me.
still here. They're definitely on. I never hit you, I suppose. That's true. Yeah,
mean,
I would say
If
I would give that to you.
With the blood of the blue dragons, they are the tyrants. They're not the slay everything monsters.
enough.
So if things are cowering
enough.
before him, his contempt feels
They
satisfied.
are cowering before you. They are not moving to attack you any further. So I would say that yes, you could end your rage, as there are no current foes visible.
All right. Well, with that one, then the lightning will fade from my countenance, and sort of his face will change back to the jovial, nerdy scholar. It seems we've come to an understanding then.
I don't know what they're saying. I know they're speaking Mwangi, but aside from the fact that they clearly don't want any more trouble, I have no idea what they're trying to say.
Hand, please.
Oh,
Let's do that.
sorry.
Tyrannus is after Delra and steps forward and just brings his halberd down and basically cleaves this dude who has 4 health into pieces with 14 damage and just splatters the one on the southern side of the room. There's surrender, and then there's ambush. We cannot leave ourselves flanked. And,
Tyrannus.
As much as I don't like it, he didn't drop his weapons.
That was clear mercy right there. He was not going to fight us.
This is a risk we cannot abide. We do not know how many more there are. We cannot leave ourselves surrounded.
We aren't monsters here. We aren't going to just chop down everything in our way. This was decent folk here.
And he points back across the hall towards the other 2 who are still there surrendering that are unarmed. They have disarmed themselves. I have not stepped towards them.
This one was just too scared to do it.
Until more superiors arrive?
Well, I don't know. That wasn't your call to make.
I suggest we stop yelling in the room that we just got done fighting in before more curiosities come. Can we agree to that?
Well, maybe if we don't start slaughtering these people over
Buddy.
here. I'm just saying, they can
Buddy.
talk that language and we can't.
Buddy.
Espus.
They've
Did you
dropped
see
their
him
weapons,
slaughter
right?
that
They've
man?
yeah, the 2 in the northern end are completely disarmed. How long does Greece last, by the way?
5 minutes, I think.
Okay.
No, 1 minute. Sorry,
1
just
minute,
1
all
minute.
right. So we'll eventually fade away. It's not going to be
We're
there
having a
forever.
conversation here, thank you.
Okay.
Well, it's
Well,
kinda
yeah,
lost.
but
It's
multiple
fine.
things
They're
are
confused something else.
multiple things are happening here
Oh
simultaneously.
yeah, we're just trying to have someone.
But,
Okay.
Resme will point at the monkeys and point back outside the door, gesturing, telling them to get the heck out.
Back where you came from?
Yeah.
So towards where Rur is.
Yeah.
So as you're yelling at Tyrannus and you 2 are talking, she's yelling at the monkeys. And
I'm not yelling because it's
well,
not going
not
to help,
yelling,
but
right?
I'm
There's
gesturing.
no point. They don't understand anything. You're gesturing
I'm
towards
not.
the monkeys.
I'm not being an American.
trying to.
And I'll
If you speak slowly, they'll put it together.
I'll
trying
step back
to-
and get
yeah,
out of the way.
Trying to indicate they need to get in the room while Rur moves back and makes space. But Buddy, if you're not moving, is still in front of them, and that was the one that the one was battling, and they see you pointing, but they don't immediately seem to get your intention here. And Tyrannus yells back to both of you 2. I believe that the time for that may have passed. We do not know how many more of them there are unless we can establish communications. If we cannot learn that, stay alert.
Just tie them up, truss them up, and leave them in that room in the 2 tents.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. We could tie them up and leave them in here, or we could tie them up and take them outside and leave them outside.
Just
No,
leave them in the tents. They'll be
let's-
fine. We can take them out after. I'm not going to kill creatures that have clearly surrendered to me.
Well,
But-
tying them up also outside, they'd freeze to death.
Yeah, just leave them in the tents. It'll be fine. They're not going to go anywhere.
And while you're debating this, Tyrannus steps past Dalren. He would push his way past Dalren as your lightning crackles down up to Buddy and just gesture out with a finger. There is tactics and there is stupidity. At this point, clearly you do not understand the former.
There are monsters and there are good men. Clearly, you don't understand the reason for both.
Yeah, if Tyrannus is still pressing this issue, I'm going to come back into the room because we're not having this.
And so the 2 monkeys just sort of back off further. They're not positive what's going on or why this has devolved so rapidly into their enemies now arguing amongst themselves, and though they might not understand what you're saying, you're clearly upset with each other. And he looks to you and turns back and looks to Resume behind him and says, "These vaults are massive. If we are to survive this, we have to be smart."
I agree, but this is a very logical, easy solution. Espis and I will tie them up and we will leave them here. It is a compromise, and it is one that we will make. Diplomacy check.
So you guys can speak monkey language then, huh?
Can I make
'Cause
a
you know who
diplomacy
can,
check
you
to try
know
to
who-
calm everyone down and tell them that this is the correct solution?
You cannot make a diplomacy check against players now.
No, him.
Tyrannus. I mean, that's... Yeah, he's... diplomacy check is not something... I mean, you're making a request of him, I suppose. So
Yeah.
You can roll one. You get a dice gel workout with these.
Oh gosh.
Oh, we're gonna get
Oh
session
gosh, you're
reroll
getting
workout
you're
with
getting
these.
paid.
I have so many coins.
That's what we do. Okay, that's a 21.
The 21, he nods briefly and says, "I have no problem with this. They have surrendered, they are unarmed. We did not leave ourselves surrounded in case more arrive."
Come on, Espis, let's go tie him up.
Well, you know who does speak monkey language? It's these monkeys over here. Maybe we can get them to convince the others. They seem properly scared of me.
And as he looks towards them, they have surrendered for now, as soon as their commander had fallen.
It's a 20 on the survival check to tie him up.
Well, okay, you need to slow your roll like
Oh,
to
sorry.
1/4 speed. Like, we are not. If you want to walk over them and attempt to bind
Yeah.
them, like they are going as you get close within like 5 feet and with rope, they are going to crouch down and bare their teeth at you aggressively. They're not allowing that.
Resme is familiar with how to handle animals and aggressive animals. She's been taught how to do it. Can she try to use body language to calm them down, to let them know that she's just going to restrain them?
Do you have society?
I do.
Make me a society check.
That's going to be a 17.
Okay. You could certainly try. You know that that's only so much. Like, they look like monkeys, just like the boggards look like frog people, but they're like a fully sentient race. They're not, like, they're intelligent, and they're not just animals. They seem to be at least about as smart as the boggards are, and you're not positive how much of this is going to translate, because you're not sure how, like, instinctive they function.
I send them a message in their head, and if I talk to them in their subconscious, will they understand it in their language?
Like with the message spell?
With message,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no,
Okay.
because message is almost direct telepathy. You're just talking
Okay.
and putting your words in their minds, so they won't understand that any further than if you just talked out loud.
I was just curious. So she'll put her hands up and kind of make some hand gestures with the rope and just kind of point on the ground in a very non-aggressive, non-threatening manner.
They look at you and they look down at what you're doing, and they sort of look at each other and just very quickly exchange a couple of words. And then the one of them, who appears to kind of be, I guess, the closest to a leader here, the one who's taking the initiative anyway, turns to you and kind of points, Tomo, and to the badge on his chest, Tomo the Hawk.
Are you saying you want to follow me? She'll kind of go like this.
And they just sort of look at each other, and then the other one makes a quick motion, and motions that the smoking claw insignia that the two boggards he'd found before had. All of them seem to be wearing the same thing. The Hawk Mogond. And then he makes like a smashing. The Hawk Mogond Tomo. So
He's threatening you. His god is going to burn you to ash and crush your bones.
I don't think that's what he's trying to get
No,
at.
I'm positive that's it.
Dalrin,
Yes?
this is not a threat. From what I'm garnering, this appears to be a warning to us. He's gesturing towards the door that's like barricaded and sealed, or
No, he's gesturing to Resme.
Gesturing to resume. Okay.
Yeah, it's a warning of bodily harm to come to somebody is generally considered a threat.
I highly doubt that the completely unarmed, cowering monkeys are threatening.
No, his god's gonna do it for him. That's how cultists work.
They're both just kind of looking back and forth between you as you're talking. Like,
Brr! Perhaps we can test their evil intent. Expose them to the light of Saren Ray, and we can see if she spares them, or if they have truly evil hearts.
I'm not partial to exposing someone purely for experimentation.
But there's literally no downside if they're not evil.
The downside is I would be abusing the powers of Saren Ray to harm someone who has clearly surrendered. That is not acceptable.
Resme will go like this, and put up
I see your point.
one, and then go like this again, as if to say, "You got one choice. This is it."
and they
I wonder if I could squeeze him just so and make this Saren Ray.
I don't know if that picked up, but he looks at you, and the front one, the one in the back rather, kind of just bares his teeth again, and the one in front shakes his head and pounds his chest. Dahak! And points across all the group of you and indicates like a bunch of things, and all of them. Tomolda!
Oh, he's getting very excited. I think negotiations are breaking down, Resme.
Like, he's making no move, like he's not gonna fight you, but he's also not gonna let you tie him up.
So I guess at this point,
that much seems clear.
I think the Calmont approach needs to happen here. So Darwin's just gonna go up and grab one of them.
Okay, so
I'm backing up.
yeah, you guys, like, Resme is up here, Rur's in the room at this point, and Dalren's just gonna walk up to the front of these creatures and just grab him.
He's the particularly aggressive one.
Yeah, the one in the front, the one
Yeah.
who's taking the lead here.
I'm gonna
And
grab
you
him.
Reach down. I mean, you're gonna make a grapple. That's a athletics check.
That's fine. I can do
He's-
that. I had dice. Oh, thank
Now,
you.
are all of your dice in jail?
Yeah.
Most of them are.
There is quite a pile
You can't
now.
put them all in jail.
Well, you'd
We
be
have a lot
surprised.
of them
we
to
have
pick
a lot.
from.
Well, the encounter's over, so now they can come back out.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah.
Maybe
A light
you-
sentence.
Maybe you can trust them. I don't know. I'll think about it. Burned a session reroll on that one. So athletics check is going to be a 25.
All right. Well, you grab him. So
Yeah.
you definitely you grab him. So you walk up and you just grab a hold of this one, and he screeches, just a bestial, angry monkey screech,
Nah, I'm ignoring him.
and then just continues ranting. Malarok Tomodanga Dahak!
Yep, you've just earned yourself a gag, my friend. Tie him up, gag mouth. And I'm going to pick him up like Calmont and take him into the next room.
And he's like, you tie him up. He resists. He doesn't make it easy, but he does not physically fight you.
Yeah.
He just attempts to make it difficult.
And I'll stick a handkerchief in his mouth.
Yeah, and the two, and you bring him back into the previous room where you just
Oh,
leave
look at that.
a tied up little creature.
And I would step aside for if the other one try and get the other one to follow.
Oh, actually, what I'll do at this point also, since there's a tent there, I'll swaddle him in the tent.
Just wrap him up in the entire tent.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll keep him warm.
Yeah, keep
And
them warm.
as you step aside there, buddy, the other one does choose to just follow.
I'm just
He'll,
gonna come quietly.
He will come along and he just looks at you, shakes his head as he walks past the rest of the party. And Tyrannus steps back. Like, Tyrannus makes no move to stop either of these. He lets them go, and I assume you do the same thing to the second one. So
Yes,
you
I
have-
do.
You have two
His will probably be more comfortable.
of these monkeys just kind of swaddled up in
He'll get a greasy pillow.
tent back here in that room before you rejoin your friends.
Problem solved.
All right. I guess, should we go through that door since that seems to be where he was calling for help through?
Well, I'd say the door down further to our right here leads back out to the main, if my notes are to be of any indication.
Yeah, looking around this, that seems reasonable. And this whole chamber here, this whole area, is just full of desiccated seating and couches and furniture. It looks like it may once have been a waiting room, or they may have just dragged all of the seats here and broken them apart to use them both as large chunks of throwable sharp objects and to make crappy little makeshift hidey hole shelters, which have almost entirely been knocked over by the fighting.
If-
I wonder if there's a hungry, abandoned bear. on the
Yeah,
other
if
side of
I
that
were to
door.
put my ear up to that door,
Yeah.
would I hear some like heavy breathing or any large animals moving?
How long has that barricade been there?
Yeah, so
The
you,
barricade. That was bad.
Ah.
that's dead.
Killed Espis.
Never forget you, Espis. So as you come, if you would come up to this door, buddy, and you would put your ear up against it, like with no perception check necessary, you would certainly hear what probably sounds like bear noises on the other side. It seems to be very close to the door, like it has kind
Heard.
of been,
Yeah.
like all of this stuff is happening out here. And it doesn't sound immediately terribly aggressive. It's almost sort of curious, low growling, occasional just sad bear sounds.
Feel bad for this bear starving to death in there, but I don't know if we can provide it any comfort.
Well, we can provide it lots of monkey and bird corpses.
If you want to go in there, I guess.
I am not partial to letting out the starving bear at the moment.
Yeah, maybe later.
Maybe once we clear this place out, it might be easier to simply just leave a
Herd it-
trail for
herd
the
it
bear to
out.
follow to get out.
Now, Espis, I cannot believe that maneuvering back there. Like, that was incredible. I've never seen that move before. I didn't know you knew stuff like that.
That
It's
was
like,
quite impressive, I
Yeah.
have to say.
acrobatics.
Sorry about the grease.
Oh, was that the grease?
Yeah, I'll try to make that more clear next time. My
you
bad.
are a smooth son of a gun, though. I could barely tell.
As is my backside.
Oh, you look so grumpy. I feel bad.
Oh, don't worry. That's his normal face.
And,
Oh.
Tyrannus, with a quick, curt hand gesture, indicates stop, shut up.
And
You
I'll,
cannot
like-
seriously be considering the concerns of a addled bear captured by goblins at the moment.
Well, we should probably want to get rid of it at some point, but it won't affect what we're doing now. We should definitely clear the cultists out first.
These would have been the lictor's chambers, nothing more than a personal residence. I doubt there's anything of value in there to us, and if the door is barricaded, I assume both the goblins and the cultists have had their fill of this creature. Now, you lot, wherever it is you hail from, whatever your backgrounds, clearly not trained in martial arts. You've no understanding of standard tactics, formations. It makes it simple. You just farmer. You stay at the front, keep your shield raised. Me and the elf strike from behind. You,
Which elf?
the elves with weapons, I would assume is obvious.
Oh.
You, surprisingly, seem to be able to handle yourself quite well. I am admittedly impressed. You rarely find such raw talent outside of the ranks of the Hell Knights themselves. Such discipline, adaptability.
Now, you just come strutting in here. We have our team going here, and you trying to tell us how to do our job. I'll have you know we were doing just fine before you came along. We are helping you out here, so
Buddy.
you'd better
Then
calm
with
your
one
britches.
hand, he just kind of rubs his brow. Look, Buford, if I cared not whether or not you survive this adventure, I would not bother giving you advice.
Oh, so this is you just being nice because you got a
This is
weird...
me wanting to see nobody slain by these cretins. As he just sort of gestures at the dead monkeys and boggard strewn across the hall here.
Well, I appreciate your concern. I guess we'll just move on as misunderstanding then.
Very well.
Perhaps then the door on the other side of the hallway may be the best way
Well,
forward.
he just started to get open before Tyrannus had just stricken him down. I agree.
Another thing to consider, and Tyrannus, your expert opinion, I suppose, would be welcome. It seems that the door immediately at the end of the hallway will lead back out to the main chamber. We may be able to approach this other room from both sides if we come from the main hallway and this door at the same time.
It does seem as such. The layout of these crypts are strange. I had never personally visited Del Altarian in my adult life, and this layout is very different from Citadel of Raid, where I hail from.
And given the size of our party, it may make sense to come from two directions.
I agree. Perhaps Buford can breach this door, as is his style. I would assume there is again another behind it, so contain yourself.
I'll be this time. I've got a plan this time.
And perhaps myself and Esvis will support him from here, and you, Rur, and Resme can strike from the southern door.
That'll work for me.
My only concern is other possible threats in the main connecting antechamber, but I can't imagine they would have waited until now to show themselves.
And we'll also be quiet until we go and push in, so we should be able to do that.
Very well. Buddy, he just motions at you in the door.
I'll send you a mental
And he calls you
message if we run into trouble.
And he nods and steps back to make way for the group of you to move. So, are we going to stick with that plan here?
I like
that
it.
idea.
So, I will take... Who's going down? Are you going what he said, Dalren, Resme, and Rur going
Yeah,
out
that's
south?
fine. It's a reasonable suggestion.
So the three of you would make your way down, open this doorway here, and head down to the south, and it would be exactly as you had estimated. The second hallway behind this door leads back to the main antechamber, and then the third hallway loops back up around to another door that very much seems like it would lead to the same place. The only difficulty with this particular setup is that both light sources would be going to the south, so one of you...
I'll extinguish the light on Rur and
Dalren, he has
Yeah,
his
it's
own.
Rur's
on
light.
Dalren and put it on Tyrannus.
Well, okay. In that case, could you put your light on me? Because it becomes much easier to see where we're fighting if we have a light on the person who's pushing into the room.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I can do all of that very, very easily thanks to Arkenforge, because these are simple one-button toggles that I just missed clicking on 3 times in a row, which is entirely my fault. That has nothing to do with Arkenforge.
You the man.
It is significantly easier to arrange these things here, because I just turn his light off, turn your light on. Gesundheit, good sir.
Thank you.
So, as Dalren, Resme, and Rur approach the southern door, you eke open this middle antechamber here and arrange yourselves to enter from the west. Look at these tactics. Look at this business we got going on here. Approaching a doorway from both sides that we sure hope leads into the same room.
That's very likely. I'm counting on it.
It is very likely. So,
We're about to get destroyed by some rats again.
You have to admit that Tyrannus is kind of handsome, and he's got this thing going with his commanding voice. I'm really not sure what to think about it.
Well, you can take him out to dinner next time we get back to town. But
His
personally,
decision-making's a bit rash.
I'll be very grateful to be quite done with him once this is over with. He grates on my nerves.
I would like to work with him some more.
I would like
Possibly
to work with him some more, too.
not let him be alone with you for too long,
He's
but
the
we'll
foot
see.
soldier of a tyrant. He likes to throw his weight around. Thankfully, he realizes he's alone out here, but I wouldn't ever want to visit his household.
He's kind of cute, though.
I know you have a thing for mustaches, I suppose.
Who doesn't?
So are we just going with the mini
Yeah.
that we have and retconning that Tyrannus
Yes.
has a glorious mustache?
Yes.
How
Yes.
could he not?
I mean, yeah, all right, I'll take that. I'm okay with that. So I guess I'll have to MS paint that on his token at a later
Yeah,
occasion.
That's fine.
Because we'll go ahead and retcon that he has the glorious mustache, just like his miniature there. So what's the plan? What's happening? You're split out.
So Resume was gonna message.
Yep, I'm going to message him and say, when Dalren tells me to say to breach.
And you're both going to...
yeah,
at the
just-
same time.
Just count down and
3, 2,
Dragon Rage.
1.
And as he
Go.
He rages as the door is about to open. Buddy raises his shield prepared, and as both teams throw the doors wide, I think we should take a break.
Oh.
Good timing.
I think it's a perfectly acceptable, nice climactic time here for a
Dalren-
break.
Dalren's door opens to a broom closet.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
I love you, Sirenscape. You make my day so much better. So, we're going to take a quick couple-minute rest for the midstream here. We will be right back. And when we do, we find out what's on the other side of both of these doors, which very hopefully is the same room. I mean, the layout fits it. It probably should be, right? We most likely have had a really great tactical decision. Stay
All it
tuned,
required was a basic understanding of architecture.
and we'll find out.
In Dalren's movie.
Welcome back, everybody. Let us resume our adventures through the vaults of Citadel Altarian. It's going, well, reasonably well so far. That last fight, nobody took too much damage.
I never got hit once. So.
Yeah.
Trying to say that.
Buford has taken a bit of the Buford's taken a bit of the brunt, but everyone's
still doing okay.
everyone's largely okay. We left off exactly as we were about to breach these pair of doors, and as the two of you, Dalren and Buford, swing them wide open, you reveal a very strange but largely empty chamber.
How anticlimactic.
That is so anticlimactic, I know.
It's good to be prepared.
But as you two breach the sides of this room, you can see that this has been less ransacked than the rest of them. There are still intact chairs in here. There's still a couch against the wall that Buddy can see, and another set of fairly nice plush chairs against the western wall that Dalren can see as your sight lines kind of bisect each other across the room. Hanging from the ceiling's rafters, not terribly high overhead, but just it's about 12, 15-foot ceilings down here. They are still fairly large vaults. So it's not far beyond what you can reach. There is a strange pile of what looks like fabric and knotted curtains, all wadded up together in a huge mass.
On the roof?
Yeah, hanging
On the
from-
ceiling?
Yeah, on like the rafters hanging from the ceiling. A mass about 10 feet across that's draping down to about 3 feet off the floor. Maybe like waist level. It's like a giant complex of blankets and curtains hanging from the ceiling.
I don't like the look of that at all.
So,
Javelin.
doors open.
Okay.
You're both ready. Everyone's weapons prepared. And you just see this. Unsure of what to make of it.
Detect
Darren's gonna
magic?
pull a
Yeah,
javelin,
you are detecting. You're always detecting magic.
Okay.
Nothing registers as magical because that's your exploration activity.
and I'm gonna plant a javelin right in the middle of that
So
thing,
you just
charged with lightning.
you're already raging. Yeah, you're raging. You didn't see any enemies in the first place. You just come to the door already mad, and you just fling basically a lightning bolt into this giant mass, and that you just fling this, and it rips right through a bunch of this cloth before clunking off something wooden, some kind of supporter thing that it's all wrapped around that's holding it all in place.
Do I hear like a reaction or anything?
Esvis, give me a perception check.
11.
An 11 over to like the wish of the javelin piercing through and the clunk of wood and crackling lightning searing through. You move on to second dice gel now. You don't see anything out of the ordinary as the group of you start to move forward in this room. As your team, unsure of what exactly is going on or what you want to do.
As I move
make
in,
their way
can I
forward.
have a strike readied because Dalren really thinks there's something in this room?
I mean, no, because were there something in there, that's like the very definition of what initiative is.
I see.
But as you enter, let me unfreeze the camera real quick. Wish I had a consistent way to fix this and didn't just come and go at complete random. As you come into the room here, you can see it expands a bit on its northern end. Strange angles. This room is much less square, but a lot of the rooms here have been at kind of off-kilter directions. It's almost shaped like a giant capital P, sort of, with this big cloth monstrosity and what the center of the hole of the P would be. There are two further doors that lead in deeper. And Tyrannus looking up at this monstrosity hanging from the ceiling, and then kind of just in front of him, mentions, this, I imagine, would lead to the Maralictor's chambers? This seems like it was a very well-appointed lounge.
Yeah, I guess we'll take one of those doors ahead and just go through and see what we find.
You kind of gotta walk either very sidled along the wall and kind of over some furniture, or through this odd cloth thing that everyone is super suspicious of.
I'm
in the
not
center
going
of
anywhere near the
room.
cloth thing.
Because it takes up on the map that you can see here, where that like purple carpet is. It's
Yeah.
a little smaller than that, so it's most of the center of the room.
This doesn't make any sense. Those monkeys ran here like they had friends in this room, and now we find nothing. He's gonna actually poke at the couches. He's gonna check the carpet, like check the rafters. He really thinks there's something in this room.
So you're moving up to.
I have a
it,
10-foot
or-
reach. I don't have to get that close.
Okay, I'm gonna stay right back where we are. Stay back here and just kind of poke around at like the lower bits of some of these curtains. And I mean, from back here, you can reach like the edge of this clothy thing, and you can kind of poke at it a bit,
Yeah.
and nothing seems to react.
Maybe they wanted to go through the second set of doors, and this is just what it looks like, an antechamber.
Or perhaps with as tied as everything seems to be, that this would be. As I go over and kind of grab the cloth and kind of give it a hard pull just to see how sturdy it is.
All right, so you're walking up here-ish, hereabouts, up towards the center of the room.
Yes.
And Tyrannus moves aside and lets you pass, and everyone's sort of just filed up here. And as you reach up and grab the cloth, your suspicions, it turns out, as adventurers, are not unfounded. As with a screech, a rain of monkeys shakes out from this cloth treehouse up in the rafters, dropping down all around you.
Suddenly, monkeys.
And I'm going to need everyone to roll some more initiative here.
Conrad's like, I knew it! I fucking knew it!
Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh, I am the most ready. Ooh, you are also the most ready.
I'm okay. Most ready sounds like it's a good thing. You guys should have an amount of ready.
I am not ready.
Well,
Was anyone scouting?
nobody is scouting.
Nobody's
right
scouting.
now.
I was searching.
Rur.
13.
Okay, this is just in the order that I happened to pile them up in previously.
I guess we're just keeping our old actions.
Buddy.
25.
Ooh,
Nice.
look at this. Hitting the big
Spicy.
time now. Resume.
18.
18. Might be somewhere in the middle, I imagine. Esvis.
12.
Hey, you were busy pulling on the curtains.
It fell on top of him. Curtains fell on top of
It's
him.
raining monkeys on you right now, so you were the least prepared for this. Dalren.
23.
23 right there, buddy. Did Buddy win initiative?
We have one more hero to
I'm-
save us.
Oh, that's right. Also the Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Buddy won initiative.
Oh gosh.
Tyrannus got a 10. Okay, so I'm going to do you a good favor here, and I'm going to roll the monkeys separately instead of the barrel of monkeys this time. Seeing as they are all right here, descending upon this curious ranger. So, Monkey Uno, and they are all rolling stealth for initiative. Monkey Uno is going to get a 24. Right in here. But he might still win initiative. Monkey Dose is even worse than Tyrannus.
Impressive.
That is
Monkey Dose
impressive.
gets stuck in the cloth as he tries to come down and just bumbles everything. But you're gonna have a hero moment here. You're gonna get one round of shining glory before all these monkeys go. Dalren, what'd you get?
23.
And resume to like 18?
18.
Okay. So here we go. The monkey's ambush is relatively effective. It's going to be Buddy, and then I always go clockwise with these, so it's going to be Buddy, and then the monkey closest to you and the monkey furthest from you. Then Dalren, then the other monkey close by, then the entire rest of the party, and then the monkey in the middle. It's just
The monkey in the
very
middle.
stuck.
Irony.
He's in the center of it. He's trying to get out. He's like, oh, the ambush is happening.
Could I have 2 more monkey tokens?
Oh yeah, I have monkey tokens. Here you go. I have Robot Man tokens because I don't actually have monkey tokens. So
Those are
Robot Man it
monkeys.
is.
Monkey token.
They are melee bruiser guy, which is what I have. All right, Buddy, it happened.
Okay, so I look at Esphus. I lean down. I wrap an arm around his waist, and I yeet him behind me onto the couch behind me.
So, okay, I'm gonna say it's not that he's resisting you. It's that you're doing this, you reacted so fast. Like, as the monkey started pouring out of the barrel, you're reaching to try to suplex Esvis onto the couch behind you. So, you make an athletics check versus Esvis' fort DC, just because of the sheer unpreparedness, as he's looking completely the other direction, his natural resistance. Has to be 2 actions. But I'll let you do this.
That's fine. Oof, that was that was a 6 on the die, but I'm looking for something better
I
here.
need that last session to roll. Please, thank you. Coins for the coin god.
Ooh,
Hey.
much
Yeah.
better, much better. Okay, so that is a what was it? Athletics.
Athletics.
So let's see, a 26.
You're about to break this man's neck.
17.
So yeah, that doesn't critically succeed. You don't throw Esvis across the rim, but with 2 actions, you will grab him and haul him behind you.
Why are we hugging again?
You just yank him back and toss him onto the couch behind you. So Esvis is also going to land prone again on the couch.
Yeah, you know. that's
And then
okay.
I'll give you 1 action left.
And then I will raise my shield.
Keep your shield ready as the deluge of monkeys begins. So the monkey drops down to the floor, and as it does, a bit of this wooden framework kind of comes down. It's not particularly sturdy, this trash jungle they've put together out of ruined curtains and cloth, but most of the room here is intact. He drops down, picks up a chunk of wood, and goes to hurl it at Esvis, watches this happen, and then just hurls it at Buddy instead.
20.
And he is going to miss. Just deflect that aside with your shield or with your just sheer manliness based on the previous activity. And then he is going to move over to this far corner where there's a bit more rubble to try to find more things to pick up and throw. The other monkey drops down right in front of you and is just going to come down with his sickle raised on your head. And he is going to hit you.
Okay.
The cowboy hat does nothing.
I know. Well, you know, it looks good. It looks good.
You are going to take 7 damage.
Okay.
And he's going to swing it again. And that one is going to miss. And after that second swing, he as well is going to retreat back to a corner where there's a little bit more usable rubble for him to search through with his free hand. So both of these ones have these monkeys all have their whips holstered instead of their sickles. Their sickles out free hand. They're coming in with the lethal. And that will bring us to Dalren before the 4th monkey activates.
Okay.
Tyrannus hasn't gone yet, so he can't take opportunity.
4th monkey is going to be this one here on the wall.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, so Dalren is going to...
The one that's like right in the middle is the one that goes last.
Dalren's going to slip past Tyrannus, and he's going to sweep the geese arm low and take the monkey's legs out from underneath it with a trip.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 25.
25 is going to knock him down. As he's dropping down, he hasn't really even quite gotten his footing before you've already stepped forward preemptively and brought him on the ground. He's prone.
Finish the geese arm sweep and smash down onto him with an attack. That's going to be an 8. No, it's not going to be less than that. It's going to be a 13 against his prone. Probably still not good enough.
Prone's flat-footed, but a
Yeah.
13 is not going to land, unfortunately.
Okay.
And then as he is on the ground there, he is going to just, monkey business. He's got a free hand. He doesn't have his whip out, but you're also right next to him. And as he just kind of falls on this couch, he's going to reach out and try to bring you down as well, using his sickle just as a lever more than a weapon.
The monkey technique.
And what's your fort DC?
Fort DC is 17.
Okay, he is definitely going to fail. And as he fails, he is going to stand up and also scamper back for a bit of distance. Back up against this wall here. That brings us to Resume and Rory, you're on deck.
That monkey's still caught up there in the curtains, right?
Yes, he has not come down yet. There's one monkey is... they all drop down as the start, so he's mechanically on the ground. You don't have to worry about him being up there.
Okay, A, because I don't know how many other monkeys are up there and I'm worried about reinforcements, and B, because it just seems like a good idea, I'm going to set those curtains on fire.
Want to just go ahead and stress that the curtains are the vast majority of the center of the room. Okay. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying be aware. That's
Like,
a lot of... It's a 10-foot across thing, so it's like 3/4 of the room we're sitting in right now is just knotted curtains and ready cloth hanging down around the framework of something that's there.
It's going to be glorious.
It's going to be a glorious time.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Okay, what spell are we using?
Produce flame, surprisingly.
So, I don't want to do this. They are just dirty, knotted curtains. You know what? Just give me an attack roll.
Okay.
And we'll see if you can light this all aflame. This produce flame is it's a pretty small little, like, handful of fire. So it'll definitely sear a bit of them, but we'll see if it catches enough to ignite them.
That's going to be an 18.
18, sure. 18 will start to catch. So these curtains in the center of the room are starting to burn. They don't all erupt into an immediate wall of flame, but they do certainly start to catch.
And it does do persistent damage, so it will just continually do damage as long as the flame is lit.
Fair enough.
And it actually does, so it does 1d4 fire damage plus my spellcasting ability modifier on a hit, and then it will do 1d4 persistent fire damage for as long as the flame is there.
So it's just kind of igniting all of these curtains, making the room become fairly overwhelmingly bright pretty quickly. And I'm going to start it right there in that square just sort of in front. Back one more. I'm going to start it like right here on the edge of the thing that is nearest you. And as more of this starts to catch, this will probably spread. Okay, you have set the curtains on fire. And
I'm feeling pretty good about myself at this point. I'm going to throw up a shield.
okay, solid. Rur, Asvis, you're on deck.
I'm going to go on ahead and panic real quick, say, everyone, we should probably get out of the room, and blast a quick prayer to Sarenrae into Buddy, seeing as Buddy's taken one too many hits for my liking. That's a D8 plus... Okay, so 9.
D8 plus 8, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's 9.
Okay.
I keep on rolling 2D8.
Just the one. And as he gets 9 health back,
And then I will take a 5-foot step back to make room out, or 10. I'll come back, giving enough room for everyone to at least funnel
you're
out.
gonna come like almost entirely like off of the screen here, basically, retreating back as far as you can to leave a bunch of space.
These dice jails are getting work.
Esvis, you are prone on a couch.
That happened. I will slide off of the couch and stand back up. And I will also move back to get out of the room, as seeing as now there's fire.
There is suddenly a lot more fire in the room than there was when you appeared.
So I'll move in front of Rur. And I will take I'll just take a pot shot at this monkey right here.
Okay, the one that's straight in front of you that's the closest.
Yes. So no shenanigans, no ignore cover or anything like that. Just a straight shot.
Okay.
23 total.
23 definitely hits.
Don't get a 1. Don't get a 1.
Come on, you gotta do more than 1 damage.
5 damage.
5
Hey.
damage. We did it. We in there. All right, and then
That is the end of my turn.
Tyrannus was not expecting you to set the move. We just talked about tactics.
He didn't say anything to the casters.
Yeah,
That's
rude.
true.
He said nothing to
She's
me.
offended.
He is
She's apparently conveying her hot burning love for him right now.
he's
Fiery
He's
passion.
gonna step forward because it's just like it's growing, but it's like this is a quarter of it is just starting to burn, and it's not like an immediate threat to him. He's gonna step forward and follow up on that shot with a mighty overhand swing, just cleaving through some of these curtains down onto that leftmost monkey, and he is going to hit him. That guy's got 5 damage on him, and now he has 11 more.
You've been rolling some really bad damage dice.
D10s haven't been great today. And that seems to be nearly enough to bring that monkey down. They're seriously not sturdy. And then the last monkey, who is now in the on fire canopy here, is going to drop to the ground in a panic and just run. He's just going to run towards this door and fling this door open. as he just scrambles away from what is really not a terribly large amount of fire at the moment. Buddy.
Okay. So I'll.
By the way, it's this monkey that's going over there.
I see Tyrannus step forward into the line of fire. I puff up my chest, and I too step forward into the line of fire. And I will the monkey on the that's further from the door. Is it? That's not the one that was running towards the door.
No, the
right?
one
That
further
was
from the door was the one that had struck at you and then retreated.
Okay,
back
yeah.
to scramble for more rocks.
Look at Tyrannus, and I'm like, I readjust my hammer here and go for a good swing there. Well, it's not a great swing. It is only a 15.
A 15 is going to miss, unfortunately.
And
So
then
you step forward and swing down at it as he's low to the ground, just still scrabbling for rocks to throw.
Well, and then I raise my shield.
So this monkey back in the corner, the one who has fallen the furthest back now at this point, has a decent handful of stuff. And as the curtain bursts into flames, he does a similar thing you'd seen in the hallway before. He almost seems to go mad and just starts shrieking, screaming shrilly and constantly as he just scoops rock over after rock and just throws them, I guess it's just one hand repeatedly, up towards the line of you guys. He's going to throw the first one out towards Dalren.
18.
That is going to hit. Dalren is going to take 5 damage.
So 3, 10, 2, 27.
And then he is going to scoop and throw the second towards Tyrannus.
That's the one in the furthest corner?
So there's the furthest one away from you. Yep, he's just chucking. And that's going to just barely... it's going to hit him, but he's going to just bring his shoulder down, and it shatters across his plate. He's going to throw the third one out towards Buddy.
Just go on a line of fire here.
Yeah, just flinging stones. And you similarly, with your shield up, are going to be able to shatter this one as well. Before he looks across the room at this fire and the open door and just runs through the door.
The same one that just threw
Through three things and runs through the door.
Oh, wow.
This shrieking fury, he almost sends himself into a blind rage and just starts moving with incredible alacrity, throwing 3 rocks and then running. The second monkey in the back, who is the one that is the most injured now, is going to similarly start this screeching, and he's going to step forward towards Dalren and Tyrannus and just start swinging wildly with his sickle. First towards Tyrannus, which he is going to hit. Tyrannus is going to take 7 damage. And then he's going to swing one towards Dalren. What's your AC?
18.
He's going to hit you as well. Sickle is agile, so he's able to do this decently effectively. You are going to take 5 damage.
He
Oh.
feels the weight of a gaze through the fire.
Not for Tyrannus,
And,
though.
well, I had to, Tyrannus can protect himself. He feels the weight of his gaze on the, through the fire, and he's like, oh man, I'm in a really bad situation right here. I could also leave. And has this this glimpse of maybe not dying right here. And has to make a choice.
The monkey he could have been.
Yeah, he's going to be enfeebled, too. He hits you for 5.
Okay.
Okay.
So don't you reduce that, though? I think
What?
you outright reduce, because you hit him for 5. You reduce that damage, too, right?
Oh, yeah. Gains resistance to all damage against triggering damage equal to 2 plus your level.
Oh, so you only take 1 damage, so you're going to get resistance 4 against that. So he hits you for
Wow.
1.
Nice.
As this shrieking frenzy, he doesn't seem to, even consider the thought of stopping. But as he comes out of that after that step and those 2 swings,
Does Enfeebled apply before or after?
after
It's after, yeah.
Glimpse of Redemption's after.
Okay.
But he then does seem to come a bit to his senses and retreats back to the rubble in the corner, at which Tyrannus is going to take a swing. This is the super injured one already, so Tyrannus, Lord of I Have Attack of Opportunity as a class feature, is in fact going to put him down.
So beautiful.
As he retreats away, do you miss it?
I do miss
Do you
it.
miss it?
Because it burns.
Because a longing for Marn's attack of opportunity. It's such a good reaction. Tyrannus will strike him down as he retreats.
Especially with a pole.
Galrin.
All right. So let's see. This thing has caught fire. We'll see how it goes. He'll just shout out. They're running, and he'll slide to the back to this edge here against the wall, and make a harassing strike at the legs of the one trying to scamper away in the back in front of Buddy.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
That's a 27
27 will hit.
for 15 damage, lightning.
Okay, he dead. So you just step up and with that massive swing, bring him down in a single mighty blow. And that was monkey number 2? Question mark? 2 ran for the door. That was 4. That was the one that goes right after you. Actually, that was the best one you could have taken.
Hey, perfect.
It's 1 and 2 are by the door.
So I've got one more action left. It's probably concentrate to put out a fire, I would guess.
I would imagine that would put concentration. Well, what are you wanting to do?
Probably it seemed to work well at Town Hall, so I was thinking of using my bedroll to try to get ready to smother the fire. Since
I don't think that's concentrate. That doesn't seem like it's concentrating. I'd say you could do that. You could pull your bedroll out as your third action.
Oh.
You could start to get it off your back.
Better idea. Darn's gonna take the hook on his geese arm, hook this thing, and just rip it down and throw it into the corner behind him.
Okay, so you're just gonna rip down the burning part and just toss the fire over here.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. Resume and Rury on deck. And as you throw it over there, as it sails through the air, the fire does grow a little bit as it's just tossed across into a heap of scrap cloth where it can get a lot more surface area. It can spread a lot more easily into the rest of the ribbons piled on it instead of having this stretched thing it had to slowly chew down. But it grows a little.
Resme will come up to where she can see both of the fleeing monkeys.
Up alongside
Yep.
the front line here.
And will yell Fulgare and call down 2 lightning bolts, 1 on each of them.
And they have to make reflex saves, right?
They do.
I'll remember this eventually. All right, 2 lightning bolts, 2 reflex saves. That is a success for half and a failure for full.
So they will take 7 or half of that.
All right, so one of them takes 7, one will take 3. And then Ruhr, Espis, you're on deck.
Seeing as the potential of the room igniting is no longer a threat, I will go on ahead and move over to beside Resume and channel Divine Light, bringing forth the Holy Lance into the farthest one away.
I'm the one who's going for it. The
Yeah,
one who
he's trying to get
screeched
away.
and ran through the door.
I don't know what's potentially over there, but I don't want him getting more people.
Hey.
24.
24 hits. You evil? Yeah, you super evil.
You're a dirty
4
evil
max
monkey.
damage of 8.
Ooh, we take those. All right, so that is the one.
Glad
First
the
one away.
Inquisitor came around to my method of
The
thinking.
one who took full, or?
Yeah,
These
those
haven't
ones took
surrendered.
after, I just did them in a row. So 8 damage into the furthest creature, and then Tyrannus. These 2 monkeys by the door. The monkeys honestly don't seem to be accomplishing a whole lot. He is actually going to step over, and he doesn't have like much of a bag. He doesn't have a backpack. He has a small belt pouch, but doesn't have any like large objects or anything here. So he's just gonna come over in the corner as a heap in the ground and just spend 2 actions trying to stamp out this fire. 2 actions trying to make the fire less fire and make sure it's not going to spread back onto this central thing. I skipped you, Esphus. I'm sorry. Yes, just go ahead.
I will come back into the room now that, again, the threat of the room catching fire is not as much of one. And and I will look at the closest monkey, and not today. Hunt prey, and take
Not today.
and take 2 shots.
All right.
First shot,
Maybe today.
maybe today. 10 total. Second shot
10 is not going to do it now.
is a 17.
17 also not quite going to do it. They are pretty quick, and they do have some decent armor on them.
Okay. That is the end of my turn.
Alrighty, and then that will bring us to, it is the one who opened the door, who just had this other one shoved past him, is going to turn around and just grab a hunk of crap on the ground and fling it at Buddy, because you're the closest person to him and he would like you to go away. That is actually going to hit.
Okay.
Yes, it was going to hit. You're going to take 5 damage. So he just kind of flings this haphazardly, sort of retreating. And he is going to run further down that hall to where you can see another door in the distance. At the very edge of your light here, almost in the darkness. And he is going to open that one. A Buddy, and then the monkey inside the door will go.
Wait, I will step up to the door. Is the fire out?
Fire is under control. It's
Under
largely
control.
out.
Okay. Yeah,
It's like flames licking up around Tyrannus' boot as he's just stomping on it in the corner.
And I will try and swing at this monkey and stop him from leaving, which is a really good swing there. So that's a 26.
26 hits.
And then I will do a damage, hopefully. This is the hope. Not much. 5 damage.
5 will do it. He's
Aha.
pretty injured from
Hey.
the, he is the one who took
Lightning and a divine
the
lance.
Divine Lance. Yeah, he took the lightning and the Divine Lance. So you will bring him down with a hammer, leaving just the furthest monkey still frantically trying to just sort of escape or
And
make
then-
distance at the very least.
And then I will, I guess actually I'm going to step out of the way, just in case people want better line of sight.
Okay, so that brings us now to Dalran with Resume on deck.
Okay. My elven fleetness is more than enough to catch up with this fleeing monkey. Dalrin's going to sprint down the hallway after him and bring his geese arm down to slash through the back of this monkey as it tries to get away.
That's funky.
Funky monkey. Not great. That's a 12.
Well, not going to do it.
Followed up. Try to go catch
You're
it this
running.
time.
You got a lot of running.
No. That's a 4, 8. Another 12, actually.
Unfortunate. So you're running after the hall, just swinging after him as he's scrabbling down the hallway.
He's a scooty monkey.
He's focused seemingly very much on keeping himself safe now, trying to avoid your blows. Resume and Ruri on deck.
Resume will see that he's opened the door. She doesn't want him to get away, so she'll try to call lightning down on him one more time to see if she can finish him off.
If you keep electrocuting the monkey, eventually he'll stop living.
That's my hope and my dream.
He's gonna pass. He's gonna take half of this.
So that'll be 7.
He's gonna take 3, so he's still up. He takes another jolt. He's made both. Oh, he didn't. He failed the first save, so he's 7 on him. So all the damage he's taken is from various electrical arcs. But he is doing nothing but dodging lightning in this hallway right now between you shooting at him and Dalren swinging, and it's going surprisingly well.
And then I'll move again,
Okay.
following Dalrin.
So up to like the doorway.
Yeah,
Or? Okay.
that'll work.
And that brings us to Ruhr with Esvis up next.
Our turns sound eerily similar. I'm going to move up, following the
Everybody chase the monkey! Stop that monkey!
Stopping that monkey is exactly why I'm here.
He's gonna go bananas.
Quick prayer to Saren Ray will unleash a lance of pure good. That will be a 20.
A 20 will hit,
Max damage for 8.
and 8 will do it.
The monkey has been stopped.
What happens to the monkey as all of these things fly down the hall after
The
him?
evil monkey.
The evil monkey has been tased quite a bit. He's stumbling. And this racking of holy energy shudders. And it's just too much for his body to handle all this pain he's been in. And he passes out and just slumps against the wall and falls over unconscious. Possibly bleeding out. I'm not sure.
Point is, he
He's
is
no longer a threat.
escaping.
Yeah.
He is definitely just fallen still at the end of the hall. And as Tyrannus finishes out stomping these flames out here, he turns around completely just livid. Like his face almost blood red here as everyone's looking down the hall at this. I'm trying to peep this monkey, other than Buddy, who has made some space, and Esvis, who was a little bit further behind there. Buddy, you're up against a door on the northern side of this room.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, of course, the door at the end of the hall that the monkey had already opened. So there's two places you can go, and Terminus does not say anything, just fury in his eyes for a moment, behind still mostly this cloth thing. So he's away from the rest of the party. So his gaze falls on you, and he just makes like
I'll be like,
universal. What are you doing? Like gesture.
hey, if it works, it ain't stupid. And I'll,
It didn't work.
what didn't work?
Very well.
I would like to point out that the only
Mirror?
thing that didn't
If I could
work here
borrow?
was the breaching
Of
clear.
course.
Thank you so much.
Are you gonna fix your hair? Because I could do that for you.
Oh, it'll just pop back up the next time I access my draconic might. He'll just hit the mirror at the base of the door and just kind of look into the room.
Okay, so I will just move you over so you can see in a little bit here. And as you move the mirror to reveal more of this chamber here, you can see, like Tyrannus said, it looks like it was a very well-appointed bedchamber. All the furniture a bit askew to make way for what looks like a huge mound of rubble in the center of the room. Chunks of filthy cloth, bent nails and stakes, and just blocks of masonry and wood torn away from, you're not entirely sure where, really.
Gaping holes in the walls or ceilings
No
anywhere.
immediately visible gaping holes in the wall, but as you peer around the room, it's kind of hard to see with your little mirror from this angle. But the eastern wall, which would be the one kind of up alongside you here, does look like it has been a bit smashed. There's not like a gaping chasm here, but some work has been done to it. You also see a scrawling message on the wall to the west. Very scrabbled. It literally looks like a child wrote it, but it is in common.
Can I make it out?
You sure can, buddy. I'm gonna make you a sign because I want to draw this.
Buddy, thank you for earlier.
Oh yeah, you know I got your back. Maybe you don't, I don't know about like, grabbing suspicious objects and whatnot, but I'm not gonna question you because you clearly know what you're doing.
This is not like the spiders. Okay, this is no.
It seems, I'm not gonna say I don't want, that was a rough time for both of us.
So you would see this message
Beware mighty dragons.
scrawled on the western side of the room.
Is it scrawled at a proper height where it would be simple for a goblin to reach it?
It does look like it is relatively low to the ground, yes.
Okay. That's something about dragons. Dalrin kind of likes that sort of thing. He's certainly kind of interested. But at this moment, more importantly, the reason he checked this room was to make sure there wasn't any reinforcement pack of more monkeys getting ready to charge us.
And there do not appear to be. There is also nearly nowhere they could hide in this unless they were buried under the pile of rubble in the center of the room or quite literally hiding under the bed frame that's been just kind of mashed askew in the corner.
Okay, so that'll put him at ease a bit. So he'll close the door and move back out to rejoin everybody. Maybe some interesting things in that room, but no immediate threat as he moves back.
That's positive.
Should we try door number 2?
Well, I mean, we may want to check the area out, but I wasn't about to go wandering about in there myself. Although there was some very interesting messages on the wall. Apparently, the goblins knew about mighty dragons.
Oh. You mean the big lizard?
It's a goblin. It's hard to tell what they may have been thinking of, but actually it could be a simple emulation practice by the goblins referring to any particularly large beast. Dragons have actually historically been generic symbols
Dalrin.
for the chaos
Dalrin.
and the unusual things in the world.
Nope, no.
Even weather
No,
or
Dalrin.
even
Is this
bad.
relevant at the current moment?
Well, it entirely depends on the entire message behind what the goblins meant when they drew it on the
Darn,
wall.
I'm thinking we should check that door. If that door, what's behind it could be really interesting.
Well, if Dalrin feels like ranting at the moment, it wouldn't be a bad idea to sit Buddy down. He did take a couple hits.
Is this
best to let him
Looks
get it
around
out of
this
his
room.
system.
This is not a very defensible location. 4 doors. They could come from
Yeah.
anywhere.
I don't
we
like
could
it.
go down the hallway. He said the room's clear.
Well, perhaps we should relocate to there first.
Oh, very good then. Dalrin will reopen the door. Although at this point, he is still going to keep his eyes open because the last thing he needs is for more monkeys to materialize out of nowhere and also make him look foolish.
And
So,
you'll see, like, as Buddy's walking, he's kind of like shaking off. And why'd you bring up the spiders? I mean,
Because when Noreen hired us, we both had to suffer through that, and that curtain was much like that.
nah. Ugh.
I don't like spiders.
I agreed.
Although, it does bring up a point. Despite Dalrin's ranting, perhaps what the monkeys were warning us about in the previous room, if the goblin is... I'm assuming we're going into the room with a message on it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's where you're going to,
Okay,
as it looked like that only had the one entrance.
If they weren't threatening with a god, then perhaps remember the lizard that we fought that had a very rancid way of breathing as the monkey gestured.
Bad breath. I
Then
say.
perhaps if the goblins don't know the difference, that those could be mighty dragons, then we should prepare for more of those down here.
Yeah, no, all of you can clearly see this message scrolled on the wall at its highest, about maybe 3.5 feet off the ground, clearly written by a relatively small creature, but complete with a couple of depictions of very crude, angry faces with what appears to be air, fire, something coming out of them, perhaps. And what just looks like a muscly arm with a giant bicep, or could just be several ellipses with a knob at the top. There's also just an angry face, just 2 dots, eyebrows, frowny.
Just the beefy arm coming out of the
They're
back of
just
his neck there.
The beefy arm, yeah. They're just scattered around this. It's an interesting thing.
You got to appreciate how hard they tried.
Well, I didn't get real beat up. I mean, it's only a little patchwork here and there. Right over here, I have kind of weird shoulder hitch now, but...
And your wife would behoove us to make sure that hitch doesn't remain.
I know, she doesn't like when I get hitches. But, you know, I feel, I guess I could, if we're going to be taking a rest here, I'm sure I could also help with medicine and whatnot.
I'll continue searching.
So as you're looking around the room, this heap in the middle is surprisingly large. It's comprised of a lot of things, but the room otherwise seems mostly barren.
I'm rather curious about this mass in the middle. Where did all this debris come from?
It definitely, as I said, there's a little bit of a damage to the eastern wall. It looks like it has been burrowed into, like they busted away some of the stone, and they have carved somewhat into the dirt. It only goes maybe a foot and a half in, and it's not just like straight. It's like at its deepest. It's just kind of a beveled thing. Laying all around it are bent pieces of metal and pipe, and some smaller pieces of rusty metal that look like they were once spoons that have just been destroyed. You can see matching marks in all of the dirt from these various implements. Someone was very ineffectively trying to dig.
Yeah, well, the cultists have been down here for quite some time. It's possible they were trying to dig their way out. All honestly, despite the fact that they're clearly a very bad disposition and very hostile, part of me feels sorry for them. They were effectively buried alive when the stairway collapsed, and they had no knowledge of the secret door to get out.
Then they suffer the consequences of attacking innocent goblins.
I don't understand why they're here.
That's why we're down here to figure out, though.
Well, we have at least
And
2 other
that,
captives we may
with
ask.
a smashing noise, the door is blasted open to yet more boggards in the hallway beyond that have come a-hunting once the sounds of battle had fallen silent and nobody had come by to check in. Once again, before you're able to properly sit down and heal. More
At least I'm not standing in front of the door this time.
frogs. Give me another initiative. The continuous battle of man versus all of the frogs ever.
So, quick question. From the time when my rage turned off in the other room, I came
It's been
by,
at least
checked
a
it. It's been
minute
at
this
least a
time.
minute.
Yeah, you've been fine. You would have been able to even, like, start checking Buford, but he wouldn't have been able to complete a medicine check by now. Alrighty. Esvis.
This time, 18.
You have found the other numbers on your initiative roll. Brr.
19.
Flex. You gonna let him flex on you like that?
Well, he's only ended one combat so far.
Ooh.
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 Burn. 24.
Where are these when you're attacking things? Dalren.
23.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put this 18 down at the bottom of the initiative table where it belongs. And buddy.
17.
The going first means that we have a quicker opportunity to start missing things.
That's true. You can get your whiffs out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get some boggards.
And Tyrannus.
And Tyrannus. Boggards, and I'll remember Tyrannus someday. Oh my gosh, Tyrannus. What was yours, Resme?
24.
Almost.
He almost had it. Oh, he tied you, but I'm gonna let you.
Players
that
always
one.
go first.
He is in fact an NPC. All right, Boggard Uno. Well, he did kick the door in, so by definition, he's pretty ready. He kicked the door in, and he coming.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Boggard 2, not that. Rur, what'd you get?
I got a 19.
19. Esposito, you got an 18, but
Yes.
you got a 17. Below all you guys. 17 is the lowest.
Ha! Nerd.
I mean, that's. Okay, you don't have to bully him. Just because he's not particularly fast. See, this is what you get.
It's because he's not a rat. He doesn't have fast.
This is what you get for bullying the Boggards.
Oh my god.
You brought this upon yourself. The Boggard ambush was very much ready. They were prepared. So as the door opens, I just kind of put you here. You were sort of scattered around. I am going to just roll a d6 for who happens to actually be closest to the door when it opens. With 1 through
Roll
5.
a buddy.
Tyrannus.
Roll a buddy.
It's going to be Esvis.
No, not Nesvis.
But he's so soft and squishy.
He's so adorable. You can't put Esvis.
So Esvis would just happen to be the one closest to the door when this opened. As he was the one who stopped to look at things. And as this door opens, as this Boggard boots the thing down, a tongue flies into the room.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And
no.
it's going to miss because
Oh,
Boggards are incapable of putting on a competent ambush. Fortunately, I have a hero point.
Oh,
So,
no!
I'm going to re-roll. What's your AC?
19.
That's a 19. He's going to grab you. And as he does, he is going to descend back into the hallway, bringing Esvis through the door with him. Before they're in the darkness at this point. You just see a club flash out from the shadows, and the rest of you just hear a wallop. As that is not agile, but it's still gonna do it. And as he pulls you out, he's gonna bap you for 10.
Okay.
And then you would hear, all of you, this terrifying croak ring out through the room. And its range... Where is it? Oh, it's 30. That's all of you guys. Everybody make me a will save.
Oh my god.
Oh, I got a 27.
14.
Here's a bunch of frog tokens. That's all the ones I have.
21.
All right, so anybody... Did anyone get
I got 11.
11?
26.
So,
Hard
Buddy,
20.
Well, 27 because it's an emotion effect.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Buddy, you were frightened 1. As you see your
I was frightened one last time too. These croaks are real chillin'.
best friend pulled through the door, and then hear several other walloping noises as more frogs in the darkness continue to beat him. With a hit and a miss. So you're going to take another 10 damage.
Okay.
Resume.
Resme will see Esvis get yanked through the door, and she'll run up to see what took him getting in front of Tyrannus. And seeing that he's in a heck of a lot of trouble, she's
You
gonna
see a tongue like wrapped around him. You just see clubs beating him.
she's gonna drop a triple magic missile on the boggart holding him.
You can't see anything. You can see the tongue that's wrapped around him, but all the boggards are around the corner.
Can I cast light on him and then drop a double magic missile on him?
But you move over, so that's one.
Oh, then okay, then
And
I'll.
light is 2 actions.
Light is 2 actions.
So if you cast light on them, that's your turn. It's also touch, I believe. So you're gonna have to come to the doorway and cast your light on him, and then that would be the end of your round.
Okay.
It's pretty. Like,
that's
shield's
fine.
shield's like the only 1 action spell I know.
That's
of.
okay.
They're almost all 2 actions.
That's fine. I'll do that.
Alrighty, so your light was on Dalren. That is going to extinguish.
Oh, actually, no. Rur's light was on me.
Oh, you.
Her light was on Tyrannus.
Why did that
Tyrannus.
go into mega brightness? Calm yourself, light. You're entirely too excited.
That's what happens when you heighten light.
That's hiding light. Everyone's just blind. All right, and here's on Tyrannus. So Tyrannus is going to go out. It was Tyrannus that got made mega bright for some reason. And then Esvis is going to light up. Oh, I didn't have the thing on these that showed me they were still hidden tokens. Unhide the frogs. There you go, buddy. All right, that brings us to Tyrannus.
What about the light source on Dalren?
Yeah, that's why that's why they're not black.
Oh, it's just really.
It's just a really dim
There's
light.
2 light sources on the other side there. And for some reason, the light's on Tyrannus. It's just like a flaming beacon of the sun, and I'm not really sure why. Tyrannus is going to see Esmus get pulled to the door and Resme run after him. He is going to step forward, gritting his teeth, and he's going to swing his halberd at the tongue. That's all he can really see. He's going to swing his halberd at the tongue. And he is just... Oh, no, he's going to miss the tongue. All right, he's going to swing at the tongue again. Come on. He's going to miss the tongue again because that was exactly 5 higher than my first roll. That was the same thing twice. Trying to get past Resme here as she rushes into the door. He can't really get his blade through the door frame without risking injuring one of the 2 of them. There's little he can do here. Dalren, rear your own dick.
There's a lot of people there.
And Tyrannus, in a change, does not issue any orders, does not say anything. He just reacts immediately and also seems somewhat uncertain of what to do.
Okay, so Dalren is, man, it's real crowded. So Dalren's going to focus. He's not going to be able to get to anybody, but he's going to go ahead and run over next to Resme and just try to haul her out of the way and move her behind him. Just get her out of the line of clubbing.
That's fine. I really didn't want to be here. I just wanted there to not be darkness.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna draw the line here, so to speak, and then we're not. I don't know what is up with your light. Your light is super lucky. Your light's just weird. We're not. I've let it happen once or twice. It's a cool idea. There's not a Pathfinder 2 mechanic to grab your allies and pull them behind you. That's not like a thing you can regularly do.
Okay.
So
I can do something else if you'd like.
I'm gonna veto it this time.
Okay, so
Let it
instead
happen a couple times a
of
session.
that
I'm gonna fix
idea,
your token
I'll
real
stay
quick.
back where I was,
Okay.
and Dalren will just shout out, "Get him free and draw them into the room," and he'll pull a javelin and ready a throw.
Okay. I'm trying to see if reloading your character fixes the light thing. Oh, you have normal light now. Still a shining beacon on Resme because she's in the middle of 2 of them, but it's okay.
And
you'll,
so Dalren didn't
and
move
you
up
just
there.
didn't move at all, so you're just calling out basically, and you're readying a throw.
Right.
All right, Rur, and then Esvis.
I can see Esvis from there, right?
You can see Esvis, yeah, he's through the doorway.
And Esvis took a couple solid
He's
smacks.
taking some wallops.
All right,
About
so
how hard do you like this?
I'm less than a third left.
You are still alive.
all right, so
He's barely conscious.
we're gonna pop the emergency band-aid from Saren Ray, and I forget the name of it, but I have it written down. Healer's Blessing is going to pop off for 1 action, and then 2 actions we're going to channel the divine protections of Saren Ray in you to heal you for D8 plus 10.
With the +2 on the heal.
For maximum
Nice.
18.
18 health restored back to Esvis. In the time of need, Saren Ray answers. And Esvis, you are still grappled by a tongue here. Now, at least there's some light on your bow, and you can see the hallway full of frogs that are all kind of jostling to take a turn at beating you. But, you are grabbed. Much like what happened to Buddy before, you're not held in this space. You can move away. He pulled you to him when he grabbed you, but his tongue is pretty long.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, just give me a moment while I'm trying to. So I'm
kind of visualize.
Yeah, I'm grabbed, but I'm not.
Immobilized,
I'm not
yeah.
You're not immobilized. Yeah, you're grabbed by the tongue. He's got it wrapped around you, but like a grab is like a normal grapple is a full commitment. He's just kind of grabbing you with his tongue, so you're not immobilized like you usually would be. He just hit you and it's like a frog. He hit you and pulled you in, and it's still stuck to you. You're still flat-footed, but you can still move.
Can I move my full range of movement?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I mean, you can move from here. He does not seem to have the strength to keep you adjacent to him.
Okay. Then I will just kind of shoulder my way through all the way to the back.
But as you try to move back, you would get stopped at about here. Once you've hit the reach of his tongue, then he's got his full body behind him and he can hold you. He doesn't have enough tongue muscle to keep you in melee, but he has enough entire body to keep you in the reach of his tongue, so you can't get more than 10 feet from him.
Okay, so I will come around this hard corner then.
You just pull his tongue around the corner.
Yep.
And then shut the door on it.
That's amazing.
That is it. Then the door is there. You're at the door.
Oh, I was joking.
That would be an out of game thing though. That would be metagaming for me. Can I roll like an intelligence check or something? Like Esvis just suddenly goes, "That's a smart idea."
Anyone can do for the door, for shutting the door on him.
Well, no. Like that was. I'm
It was
just
not
like,
your idea. That
Esvis
was
would
an
not have had.
interjection.
Yeah,
Don't do
Esvis
that.
would not have had that idea. So I didn't want to metagame.
Let's see. Give me a society as a recall knowledge, because that's what it would be to learn about the boggards anyway, and like how their tongue would work and what you could possibly do to get away from them.
I don't have. Society.
You don't have to be trained.
you
can
just
still do
roll.
it.
Oh, okay.
If you're not trained and your intelligence is 10, then it's just what the D20 says.
Okay. A natural 1.
Does not occur to you, no. There is a frog attached to you, and you would like it to stop very desperately.
Okay. Is that takes an action?
No, I was just kidding. That was,
Okay.
that was the
Um,
metagame band-aid.
Can I acrobatics to wiggle out?
To try to break free of a grapple is an unarmed strike, actually. So it's just it's just you are always trained in simple. Unarmed is a simple weapon. You're always trained in simple weapons.
I have a dagger at my hip. Can I pull that out and try and slice this thing off?
You can do that as well.
Okay.
I don't think that roll is actually any better, but it's an unarmed
Uh,
strike against their fort DC is to break a grapple. But you can also pull out a dagger and just try and cut the freaking tongue. That works too.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Bow in one hand, draw the dagger with the other as your second action. Just slash at him.
Okay. 19 total with the dagger.
19 hits.
For 2 points of piercing damage.
So as you bring this dagger down, you slash through a chunk of his tongue. But this is like a massive frogman tongue muscle. You cut a slice out of it, and you blood spurts forth. You hear him croak in pain, but it doesn't sever it completely. It's still attached to you.
Okay, that's all I
Alright,
meant.
buddy.
Okay, I am going to move out of the door, in between all these squishy people. I'm gonna I'm running out the door.
Oh, I was like out of the door, like away? No, you're running through the doorway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through the door. Yeah, I'm running out the door towards the people. And I am going
There's
to...
definitely a boggart next to you, but you can't see him.
Yeah, that's fine. I am going to make sure that nobody... I'm going to try and make sure... I don't know if I could brace myself. I guess I could just... I'll shield, I guess. So, I don't have... I have my hammer in my hand, and it can't cut, but I can swing at someone.
You can... I mean,
I
there's a
will
tongue
swing.
like wrapped around the door frame here.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like a boggart it's attached to right there. It's like, ugh, like his tongue stuck to the telephone pole.
So I am going to kind of
As a
slide
matter
the
of
hammer.
fact, I'm not even going to give him concealed because you can see where the tongue is going. You know where his head is.
I am going to slide the hammer up the tongue and actually just try and like bash the face of this guy in with my hammer.
Feed him mallet.
Yeah, is what's gonna... Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're like really on roll today. So that's 26.
26 hits.
6 hits. And then 1d8. Well, that was a bad roll. But that's for 6 damage. And then I am going to shield and brace for impact.
You raise your shield as all 3 boggarts are going now. The good news is they're sort of stuck in a hallway, and they're also not super duper smart. So you hear a bunch of...
Oh, no, okay. I thought I had to roll concealment. Sorry.
No, because you can see
Yeah,
his
yeah.
faces.
Does that go away? You're frightened.
You're frightened. Yeah, at the end of your turn, your frightened condition reduces by 1, so
okay.
you're frightened. You're not frightened now.
I'll keep this just in case.
Well, the boggart in the back is gonna let loose a terrifying croak. Did anyone get a 27 on the last F? You did. Both you got 27s. You're immune to this now. So you got 27 also.
I got a 20. I got a natural 20, but
Okay,
I'm 26.
so it's just two. You 3 are all immune to the terrifying croak now. Is it? Yeah, you're completely immune. So it's just you 2 make will saves. 2 of them from the 2 boggarts in the back who are yelling at each other and croaking angrily. You're not even sure if it's aimed at you, but if it's at each other, because they seem to be very stuck in this hallway and didn't think this through super well.
Okay, so the first one was a 12, and the second one was a 23.
First one was a 12, and the second was a 25.
So you're both frightened 1.
Okay.
Good thing I kept this.
Just hang on to that. You can have your very own frightened 1 card.
So shiny.
Dalren, -1 to everything. And the boggart in the front is just going to swing a whole bunch of times with a club. His tongue still kind of wrapped around the door and glued, trying to beat his way past you, it seems, almost more than he is really interested in killing you. The first swing is going to hit. 20, right? You have a shield up? Second is going to miss. Third is going to also miss. Yeah, the third is the ultimate Yellow technology. But he's going to whap you once for 11.
Whab 'em.
Pretty meaty swing.
That is a meaty.
And the 2 boggarts in the back don't seem to be able to do much anything other than yell at each other and croak a lot, as they're sort of stuck in a hallway and they didn't think this through super well.
Gotcha.
So, Resme, you're up.
So Resme knows where he is. Can I drop magic missiles on him since I don't even really... I have to be able to see them?
You have to be able to target them, and since they're concealed...
Okay, then
you
for
can-
2 actions, I'm gonna move my light onto Buddy so at least we can see them now.
Alrighty, so double take it off.
We're just bouncing light back and
Just
forth.
pass the light around the team. And now Buddy is a glowing beacon, and now you can see them.
And I will try to do a produce flame in the middle of them, because then they'll be stuck in a hallway with the middle one on fire, and they're gonna have to try to back out or do something.
Okay. Well, if your crit enemy's on fire, we're gonna fish for the big crit.
That is not gonna do it. That is a nat 1.
Oh, well, the opposite of the big crit.
It is the
So
opposite.
The nat 1, just like a floof of flame, just kind of hits the wall and sparks and dies out near instantly. Tyrannus at the back here, seeming as Esvis comes into the room, he's just gonna take another swing with his halberd. He's gonna hit it this time, and The tongue is already halfway cut. He's going to hit it for 5 more, kind of cautiously, and he's going to sever the tongue. Cuts the tongue off completely. It just back into the mouth of the frog. It snaps back around the doorway, whipping past Buford on its way, with the end of it still just kind of attached to you via this sticky muscle at the end of it. And after that swing, he is going to step back once and then call back, Buford, step back! Funnel him to the door!
I can't move.
And Dalrin.
Why can't you move?
Because there's people in the way, and I don't want them to get hurt.
Thorn's gonna delay.
All right. Rur.
Gonna delay because
Espis.
Will move
Very far away.
so I can at least see towards the door.
Oh, did you want to go back for it? I was trying to see.
Oh, no, it's
exactly
fine.
where
It's
you were.
fine. And we'll ready a bow shot for the first boggart that he sees.
Okay.
And I will move at. I guess I'll take a swing and then. Yeah, okay. I'll take a swing. Try and
Okay.
get this guy a little bit confused.
You whapped
here.
him once, give him another good whap.
Yeah. Not
That's
a very
cocked.
good. Cocked. Quite very cocked. I agree here.
Uh-huh.
The most cocked I've ever
Mhm.
seen. Okay, so it's actually 25
25 definitely hits.
for sure. So that is an 8. Gets him for 8 damage.
Okay. So you are laying in his front boggart. You've cut him twice with your warhammer.
I guess I could. I'll move back. I move back next to Tyrannus.
Right up to the rubble pile in the center of the room here. As the light fades away, the boggards come forward, still upsetty, and seeing this tiny woman in the front, he is just gonna pull up his club and see if a wallop is gonna remove this
May
object
I
from
cut
his.
in?
You may. Did you want to do it after Buddy moved? Oh, because you can't cut in during the boggart's turn. You can cut in immediately after the boggart's
Okay, yeah,
turn.
because my readied action isn't around anymore because my next action was to delay on my turn.
Yeah, because you delayed. So
Okay, so I'll have to come after
yeah,
the boggart
you will be after what is actually boggart 2 that moved to the front. So this is a fresh boggart. The other one's lapped a couple of times and his tongue got cut off. He's like, and the other boggart goes past him.
Does my ready to action go off?
Your ready to action goes off. You have the ready to action, you fire. And good news, with simplicity's sake, because in second edition, ready to actions just give you a new reaction that you can use to do the thing that you readied, so they don't mess with your initiative anymore.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about that. But you take a shot as this boggart comes to the doorway.
Total of 21
21 hits.
for 8 damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's the big shot. So he catches this arrow as he comes around. And Resume, what is your AC?
17.
Alrighty. He's gonna critically miss you, actually. And then Espis throws him off target there. And he goes to swing and he takes this big arrow and just whacks his club into the door frame. And then he's gonna just try to shove you. He would like you to be out of the way now. He wants to come into the room. What's your 4 DC? He doesn't want to be stuck in the hall anymore.
He's about to get fully bodied.
14.
14. So it is an attack action, so he has a -5. He's gonna push you back.
Okay.
He does shove Resme back into the room. And then Dalren
And
can
then me.
step in, and then Rur can step in as well.
Is he gonna follow Resume?
Oh, yeah, he can follow as part of the shove. I was thinking he didn't have an action left, but he can just follow as part of the... He's absolutely going to follow as part of the shove. He's coming in the room.
Excellent.
He's coming to do boggart stuff.
So
This actually worked out perfectly.
first thing Dalrin's gonna do is chuck that ready javelin right into this guy's chest.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's gonna be a 26.
26 hits. You guys have had, like, I want to say 11 one-off crits in this session so far.
That's what we do.
That's 9 lightning damage.
The dice jails. They're learning.
They
Yeah,
learned-
they're stepping up their game. They don't want to play anymore.
And then Dalwyn is going to move around to perch the top of this debris pile here.
All right.
And two-hand his pole smash down onto the thing for a second attack. Ooh, that with a 4 on the die, that's probably not going to do it. That's going to be a 7.
7 is definitely going to critically miss. Yeah, that's not going to land. And then Rur wants to act as well as the frogs make their way into the chamber.
We have targets now.
You do have a target now.
I'm going to go stand beside Esvis and throw spells.
Like, oh, they're coming.
Yep.
See ya. Bye. I'm off. To the back of the room. Away.
So,
Glad to have you, friend.
Divine Lance across the room. 26.
26 hits.
Yeah, they're 27.
27 crits. That does matter. Okay.
26, I'm stupid.
26 hits.
12.
Why are you playing with
Okay,
me?
Why you gotta-
6.
Why you gotta do this stuff to us, man?
Playing with me.
26 hits.
I had a brain fart. I apologize.
Math is hard.
Math is very hard. But this bugger's going to catch Divine Lance for
6.
6 damage. So that's when it's come in the room has immediately accrued a great amount of damage as everything just got loosed in his face as he came around. And that now brings us to Boggard Uno. And he's also a little hurt, but he's still mostly okay. He's just taking a couple Warhammer wallopings. And he's real mad at Buddy. So he is just going to come straight into the room here. He's going to trigger Tyrannus' attack of opportunity as he comes through, which is a natural one. So Tyrannus is surprised the plan is working. He's like, "What, they're listening?" Like, he's completely distracted and completely misses the opportunity to swing there. As this frog just rushes in, croaks, and goes to swing. So I need will saves from you too. I need already frightened one.
I'm already frightened one. Oh, look at I am hot over here. Okay, 18.
And that's an 8. So I suppose I'm frightened again.
You are still frightened one.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't stack up actually. And just swings the club down at Buddy. AC.
20.
You are frightened.
19.
He is gonna get you.
Okay.
And you are going to take 8 damage. You made him very angry. You hit him with your stick, he wants to hit you with his stick. He's pretty upset about it. And Frog 3, who also gets to come in the room, but is just gonna go ahead and swing at the squishy lady that's right in front of him because he's just excited to get to hit something. He gets to contribute now. He's been stuck in the back the whole time. What were you at, 17?
Mm-hmm.
He is going to critically hit you.
And then I will glare at him. How dare you swing that at a woman, don't you know?
As you're getting beat, you're like, hey!
You could be a self-righteous frog man for all you...
But he is not. He's enfeebled too. So
he takes 4
you're gonna
less.
resist 4 on this, and he is gonna hit you for 20, but that is resist 4, so it's 16. So and then he's enfeebled too. He's gonna try to swing again anyway. He's only like this glimpse at how his life could have played out, the life he could have lived with his boggard wife and boggard kids, only makes him more angry. And he just continues swinging the paddle. So he's enfeebled too, and also it's his second attack. So this is also going to hit you.
Oh, I think you're down.
AC 17 is a hell of a drug. But that's a 1 on the die, so he only hits you for 7.
Yeah, I'm still down.
And he's gonna knock Resme to the floor unconscious. So Resme is gonna trade initiatives here. So she's gonna go right in the middle. This is the last bogger. She's gonna go here. And it's been a minute since I've gone to this pile. You are dying 1. Fortunately, you did not go down to the critical hit, so you are only dying 1. It was the
Tis
follow-up
fortunate.
little enfeebled whop that he gave you that brought you down.
The resist was the only reason she didn't go down to it.
Yeah, well that's good, because going down to a crit is the bad times. Tyrannus, you are unconscious in that square. Tyrannus, instead of making a swing, both the buggards, especially the one in the front, is the one in front of Resme. It's the one furthest away that's the most injured. The one in front of him is the one coming after Buddy, who's also kind of hurt. instead of going to swing with the blade immediately, he turns the halberd sideways, holding it horizontally, and uses it as just a bar to try to shove this boggart back away from Resme and Buddy and try to make some space. So he is going to attempt a shove with a natural 20.
Ooh.
He is not. It's protection mode. He's going to shove this boggart all the way back into the corner. And I'm pretty sure with a critical shove, you can choose whether to follow 5 feet or follow the entire way. He is just going to follow 5 feet forward. As you can also see, Buddy has taken a lot of hits. And as you see, they're in a step in front of you. He's also fairly wounded. He's taken quite a few blows from the previous battles, but he steps in front of you regardless. Taking the line and then turning around with a two-handed overhead power attack to just try to smite down the boggart in the doorway. He's in there. He's going for it, and he's gonna miss. He staggers a bit, almost overcompensated in the shove, and too much of his weight forward can't really bring the blade around in time. But he's placed himself in the line of fire, and he just flips a hand back to Buddy and motions you to come around alongside him.
Quick question.
Yes.
Treat wounds can be for stabilize, correct?
Stabilize is a separate action. It's an untrained medicine action. It's not treat wounds.
Oh, okay,
It's
so medicine can stabilize something.
Yeah, medicine can stabilize.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wasn't I supposed to go in the middle of the two, like the one that hit and then the one that critically hit me? Because I haven't gotten to go.
because you were right after them. You were immediately after the two buggarts.
They both rolled higher than you on initiative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The two
moves
were
you
at the
two in
front.
front.
Okay.
Yeah, I swapped you because you don't progress in dying until everybody else has had a chance to go.
Got
people
it.
can come
Interesting.
straight. So
Okay.
I swapped you when that
Okay,
happened.
cool. Thanks for clarifying.
You guessed you're in camera. All right. So with medicine, it's administer first aid, and it is 2 actions. It is untrained. Treat wounds requires you to be trained. Trying to stabilize someone who's dying does not. You can try to save someone's life without even being trained in medicine. And I don't even believe that requires a healer's kit like treat wounds does. Anybody, because that's the super basic. Just like please stop bleeding out. Esvis, and Buddy, you're on deck.
I will immediately hunt prey the most injured.
That's the one in the doorway.
In the doorway, yes.
The one in the doorway is the most injured. The one in the far corner is next. The one in the middle is untouched.
Okay. We'll focus on the most injured, and I whisper under my breath, Resme, I'm not walking you down that path today, and we'll take a hunted shot. So I will ignore cover.
No, with her down, he doesn't actually have cover.
Well, I also have Buddy and all of them in the way. I didn't know if that would...
Yeah, they're only like tangentially in the way. With her down, I'd actually say the boggart in the door doesn't have cover from you. So you don't need to worry about that.
Then I will do the hunted shot rather than the hunter's aim. So I'll take 2 shots. So first shot, 23.
23 hits.
And second shot was only a 12.
1 hit though.
For 8 damage.
Ooh, solid. He could not take another one of those blows, but they are quite hardy, and he's not going down quite yet.
Then I will just use my last action to take a 3rd shot. Might as well.
Just go for it. Hunter's Flurry, get in there.
A 16 armor class.
You know he's a 17.
Yeah, we know he's a 17.
That's gonna miss. Buddy.
I see this like delicate elf just crumple here, and I feel this like kind of swell where she stood her ground, kind of swell of respect as I reach down and lay on hands to give her 6 health.
Alright, so you heal for 6. You are no longer dying. You are now prone instead.
And with my
and you are
last
wounded 1.
With my last, I'm incredibly injured here. With my last, like,
You and
vestiges
Tyrannus,
of health,
Tyrannus is alright, but you're
really having trouble. But I, what do you think I am? I'm a warrior here, and I follow Tyrannus's instruction. I step up beside him, and we're gonna fight this.
Foreshadowing!
Oh, I step up and get thrown across.
He
Sorry about
flicked
that
Buddy's
death flag.
token across the screen there.
Happy birthday to the ground.
And
So the one on the right is a bit injured. The one on your left is completely unharmed.
okay. Well, I still may just raise my shield.
You can step up, shield up. You can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just step up and shield up.
All right, and then that brings us to the frog in the doorway. With Resme down, you have this. Is Lioness touched? Do you actually have to like kneel down and touch her, or is it just somebody close?
That's a good question. It's a touch.
It's touched. You kneel down and you touch her, and some kind of holy light happens. He's not sure exactly what it is, but he is going to turn, and he is going to commence the whooping upon Tyrannus. So Tyrannus taking a wallop, taking a second wallop. He's not taking a third wallop, but he is going to be whacked for 7 and then 11. He's going to take 18 damage, and Tyrannus is going to go down.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you want to do your glimpse of redemption?
Well, I was thinking for the second one, but it was a bit too late.
No, you can. I was just kind of going. I just was rolling them in batch. If you want to do your glimpse of redemption, you can do your glimpse of redemption.
Yeah, I would like to do Glimpse of Redemption on the second one.
So he is with resistance 4. That's actually the difference.
Ooh.
Good job.
So he is as hurt as you as he takes these 2 hits as he puts himself in the front here. Tyrannus is barely standing. Buford is barely standing. And both of the 2 boggards nearest the door are now both enfeebled too. Dalren.
All right.
You're on deck.
So, Dalren is not about to allow himself to be frightened of some stupid frogmen. So he's going to channel his lightning inside him again and center himself. He's going to use Shake It Off to get rid of this frightened one.
All right.
I'm sure he'll hand it back to me next turn.
Probably.
And then I'm going to go into a high guard. Since he's standing on the rubble, he might have slight height advantage here. And he's going to spear over Tyrannus' head to strike the wounded one standing over Resme.
And that one's pretty injured. He can't take much more.
That's a natural 20.
And that's with a critical hit. I am almost positive that boggart is going down. How much damage is he taking?
All of the damage.
That's 34 damage.
Wow. So you just bring that was a one shot actually. You lay the first boggart low, just as he barely fails to do Tyrannus, leaving 2 left.
And I'll rotate having slain the first bit of inconsequential vermin, Dalren's gonna spin the pole around and bring it down to the second one in the corner over here on my right. And that's significantly worse. That's a 5.
Solid moves.
A 5 is not going to hit him. A 5 is certainly going to miss the boggart here.
Boggart head still stuck on the end of it. It didn't balance off.
He's just bringing the whole body around with you.
And splats into the wall.
And that was boggart 2. So, Ruhr. It's you, and then it's the boggart in the corner before Resme.
All right.
And then the fully fit boggart.
I am going. How injured do the 2 of these boggarts look?
The one in the middle in front of Tyrannus is completely unharmed.
Okay.
He's untouched. The one in the far corner has taken 2 hits from Buddy. Like, he's hurt, but he's not in danger of going down in the near future. They're both relatively healthy.
All right. Well, the only thing I can do is keep the front line going. So, I don't know how Sarenrae's going to feel about healing a follower of Asmodeus, but here comes the holy light.
She may have some thoughts about this one.
So
It's not on the anathema list.
Notes to you later.
Healing Asmodeus. Sarenrae pulls out her anathema list, like, oh, what's going on?
all right. So we're going to blast him with some holy light from behind, and hopefully it heals him for 13.
Ooh, pretty good.
And then I'm going to look at the unharmed boggart. And I'm going to try and shout it down from my tiny stature in the back.
You croak back.
I will croak back at this. Well, that's 13.
13's not gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of you.
All
Sarenrae
checks
protects.
are always comically low.
So the boggart in the corner has been shoved back now. Sees this lightning man in the back. He's being attacked. He's being just assaulted by this backline here, but he's very bodied in the corner. by Tyrannus and this large champion. And he's just going to raise his club and just bring it down on Buford. This is the only one who is not enfeebled. He's going to hit. For 7. It's a 1 on the die.
Nope, that is too many.
And
I go down.
Buford will go down. Okay, we'll go down. And that will bring... I'm just going to move this entire train down a little ways as Buford's initiative changes to his new spot in front of the boggards. Not a crit, fortunately, thanks to your pretty spectacular AC, but you are dying 1.
There you go.
And from there, the boggard is going to let out a victorious, just bestial roar, croaking shout, step forward, and swing at Tyrannus. He's going to hit him, too. This boggard's on fire. For 11, which is
Not enough.
not quite going to undo the healing that Sarenrae had put in him, because you healed him for 12.
13.
13. The boggard's going to still whap him for 11, undoing most of that. But on a victorious high here, this boggard steps forth. Resme.
Which one of them looks injured?
The one in front of Buford, the one further from you.
Resme will kind of just get up on an elbow and with all of her strength, reach down with her magic and pull a triple magic missile down on him with all of her strength.
You let out 3 of these bolts of force from the floor into the further boggard.
It's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Holy crap.
What?
Numbers.
Were those all 4s?
There's no way.
That
Wait,
had to be triple 4s to
Oh,
do
no,
15.
no. I don't add my spell modifier to that,
No,
right?
it's just
oh, then it's
D4
11.
plus 1. I was like, well, it had to be triple 4s to get the 15 damage. I was like, that's sick. All right, so still 11 damage is a solid hit as these 3 bolts sail into the further boggard. Now he is starting to become relatively injured. He's starting to fatigue, but again, this victory rush is just carrying him, this bloodlust, as he is succeeding where all of his allies have failed. And then the boggart in front, Tyrannus, has all this magic. You do this incantation, shoot these bolts of force in front of him. He's dumb. He's not that dumb. You know you're getting a stick, Resme. So
You
you're
should have plus 2 AC.
from lay on hands, which will negate prone. So you are just 17.
And is this one enfeebled as well?
He is enfeebled. This one is enfeebled, so he's going to have a -2 to attack and to damage.
But he hard 20'd
He's
it.
gonna miss.
Oh, good. That pause I thought was a hard 20.
It was 1 off.
Oh.
But he's gonna miss, as he just seems like he can't muster that much strength behind his club, and just like enraged and confused, he's gonna let out another one of these terrifying croaks. And a will save from you 2.
Does it work on Buford, who's
I'm
unconscious?
unconscious.
Probably can't hear it right now.
That's a will of 21.
All right, so you're not frightened right now. And then he's gonna swing again. He's gonna miss it again. That one's a 3 on the die. The AC bonus from lay on hands made the first one miss.
Not today.
Alcetta protects.
Buford protects. Buford's
That
literally
too.
saved 3 people from going down on 3 separate occasions.
Tyrannus injured, not a whole lot left. He's got a fairly injured boggard, and he has a boggard swinging at Resme. He's gonna power attack the injured boggard. Best chance for anyone to survive, and he's gonna miss, unfortunately. No, they're AC 17. Nope, he's gonna hit him. He's gonna hit him exactly. That's exactly 17. We're good.
We're good.
I was very concerned.
For it's cocked. I'll give you guys that one. It's cocked. A 2 and a 5 on the D10, so that's gonna be 11 damage. That's actually exact lethal.
Yay!
So put that boggard down with a power attack. And then he is gonna turn to this other boggard who was already enfeebled and he's gonna join the failed demoralize attempts club as he roars, taking down this victory high, transferring via murder from the boggard to him. Tyrannus standing there, just barely even standing there. A +4 on intimidation. He's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. The boggard is frightened. 15 on the die. The boggard is enfeebled 2 and frightened 1. Esvis.
You, however, will walk the path, hunt prey.
No, this one's unhurt. But he's
Nothing a couple
enfeebled
of
2
hard
and
20s
frightened
won't
1.
fix.
And hunted shot for 2 shots.
Alright. He does have light cover, so he's got a +1, which is going to offset the frightens.
First is a 13. Second is a 17.
17 hits.
For 3 points of damage. And I'll take 1 more shot. That's gonna miss with a 14.
Alright, so it's this last boggard here up against the wall, literally, trapped in front of Tyrannus. This barely alive Hulk of armor. Starting to take his first hits with his dead allies on either side of him. The last man standing, Doran. Rory, you're on deck.
All right, he's got a height advantage. He's got reach. He's going to bring that geese arm around.
We ranked fighting, boys.
Yeah, cleave into that thing. That's a 20.
20 definitely hits.
So that's 10 lightning damage.
Ooh, solid.
Followed up with a second swing. That's going to be 9.
9's not gonna do it.
And I literally have nothing better to do, so
Just keep swinging.
let's just try to
We-
chop this
we
thing down.
fishing.
That's only a 13. Well, I don't know, actually, with frightened and... I don't know if frightened
And
applies. And
Frightened
feebled.
reduces his AC and feeble does not.
Ah, okay.
Oh, interesting.
So he's basically frightened is a -1 to all checks and DCs. So his attack rolls are down. All of his fort and will DCs are down, which is his AC is down. The only thing it really doesn't affect is his damage, and enfeebled lowers his damage.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's my turn. Trying to beat
Alrighty,
this guy down.
roar.
Does enfeebled stack?
Enfeebled does not stack, but if you give him a higher number, it will replace it.
All right. So
Like if you inflict enfeebled 3, he'll be enfeebled 3, not enfeebled 5.
I don't think I'm gonna hard 20 another enfeeble spell.
Most debuffs do not stack up through repeated application.
All right. Well, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move right up behind the friendly neighborhood Hellknight, and I am going to, from my position, my elevated position, look him in the eyes, burning with the fury of Sarenrae, and for the sun and the fury, I'll shout at him as I blast him with a divine lance. 426.
That critically hits.
With the frightened
because he is frightened 1.
Yes.
So that is a critical success.
I love our
One
halfling.
d4 this time.
Get a 4.
That's a 2, 4,
12.
so 12, yeah.
He's gonna take 12 damage. That's a solid divine lance. With that, he staggers backward injured. Buddy needs to make me a death check.
Ooh,
What is it?
cocked. I think it was a 3.
The 3 will advance to dying 2. It's not a critical failure, so you're not going to dying 3.
Was the guy who went down 1 or 3?
The guy who went down was 1.
Oh.
So, Resme, you are up now. Because 3 was the one who hadn't taken any hits yet.
Resme will once again summon
Somehow
all
conscious.
summon all of her magical strength and pull down another triple magic missile before probably passing out from all of the exertion.
We have you on the ground, wounded 1 with 6 health. Buddy dying. Tyrannus standing here with 4 health in the front line. And a triple magic missile.
For 13.
He's taken 25 damage. Boggard warriors have 38 health.
Did someone say exactly?
Resme, what do you do?
Resme calling on all of the last of her strength and seeing her compatriots possibly about to die, knows that this is the moment of truth, and she calls upon all of her magical strength, sapping herself completely as magic rains from the sky, and she passes out from exhaustion.
Just passes back out on the ground, but this energy raining down slams repeatedly into the boggard, who's been staggered back from the blows by Dalren, this critical divine lance from on high, even technically helping the frightened from Tyrannus, and his boggard finally slumps down to the ground, unable to handle anymore. So Tyrannus has some basic medical training, and he would immediately, he doesn't drop his halberd, but he does lower it down, place it on the ground as he turns and kneels down in attempts to stabilize Buford, which he fails to do.
Esphus will just drop his bow, sprint over to Buddy, and immediately pulls out his healing kit.
All right.
You don't need the healing kit for.
To stabilize me, you don't need the healing kit.
Okay.
So you can just do this. This is just literally trying to stop him from bleeding to death on the floor right here. It's just a medicine check.
Okay. 19 total.
19 is enough. So with a 19, you stabilize Buford. You can't stop the bleeding entirely, but with a few moments' work and using whatever you can at hand just to try to staunch the flow, you do enough that he does not seem to be in immediate peril of bleeding to death. He stabilizes a bit. You're wounded one now instead of dying one.
Dalren's
Two,
going
rather.
to take his pack and put it down. The elixirs and potions that we were given by the town counselor in here. Please, everyone, heal up. I'll make sure we're not going to have more visitors. And Dalren's going to go out to the hallway and actually close that door before retreating back to the other door to close it again.
So you're going to close 2 layers of doors just to make
and
absolutely certain.
And I'm going to actually wedge a climbing python underneath it so that we can hear it when it's forced open.
Okay.
Does that door have a lock of any kind?
These doors do not appear to have any locks, no.
Okay.
This was the lower level of the Hell Knights that nobody came down here who wasn't a Hell Knight.
True.
They didn't need locks to keep to their Hell Knights. So they weren't gonna. This is the Morlictor's room. No one was gonna just walk in here. They felt okay with that one. So, Arcadis in the chat with 1,600 channel points. Giving a hero point out to Buddy for saving 3 people's lives in that battle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a hero point to Resme for the exact lethal. And those you will keep with you across sessions.
That was
Oh,
Arcadis.
cool.
Yeah, the golden coins are going nowhere. They will remain
Thank
with
you,
you
chat.
until you spend them. But thank you, Arcadis. But as you stagger into the room here, close this door, and Dalren puts the bag of potions on the ground. Tyrannus looks down to Buddy. He realizes very quickly Esphus is much more skilled at this than he is. He has very basic field medicine training. It's just part of his Hell Knight education. But you very much know what you're doing. He's not even mechanically, he doesn't know enough to even be considered trained in medicine. He knows basic triage and first aid. That's it. And for injuries like this, that's too much.
Is Buddy okay?
I've got-
Did we save him?
I've got Buddy.
I'm
got it.
immediately going to pull out my tools and get to work.
I'm still unconscious, right?
Yeah.
You are still unconscious. You're
Okay,
stable,
okay.
but you're
Just making
unconscious.
sure.
He'll be
So-
fine, but we have to work quickly.
Tyrannus turns and opens the bag and he just pushes through the potions until he would find just the first healing potion he came across.
Okay. Well, he has a 4 and 6 chance of getting a minor and a 2 and 6 of getting a lesser.
He gets a lesser.
Okie dokie.
So he pulls out his lesser elixir of life,
His.
and as Esphus is treating him medically, knowing he can't help that much, the best he can do is to give Buford this elixir. So Buford, Tyrannus is going to heal you for... Wow, that was 2 6s and a 4. So he's going to heal you for 22.
Oh, cool.
Come on, buddy. Wake up.
Well, I'll be. I wasn't so certain I'd wake up there, but did you put that perfume and medicine on me again? Cause I don't like the smell of that.
Not this time.
That was all Tyrannus.
I'll keep this a secret from your wife.
That'd probably be best for all of us, actually.
And with Tyrannus just eyebrow raised, also just kind of kneeling over you. Well, it is good to see. We all made it out unharmed. And
Yeah, I feel.
Grimace is barely like conscious. Like he's kneeling down. He's like leaning on one arm pretty heavily.
Perhaps you should have one of those as well.
Unless you want to sit down for 10 minutes.
Oh, I think that's
Give
going
me
to
some
be
time to
required.
look over you.
I think at the moment sitting is certainly the correct call.
I've jammed 2 doors between us and the rest, so we should be able to hear if any more disturbances are going to happen.
Hold on, I wondered what that was.
You know, buddy, I've been thinking. With you leaving your wife home and everything, you should probably bring her back something really nice from these trips. I mean, it's kind of probably hard for her to be away from you all this time. We should think about some jewelry or, something.
And as Tyrannus kind of sits back a bit, scooting over a little towards the corner and bracing himself up against the side of the wall as he grimaces in pain. Yes! This is important. We must make sure you arrive a hero to your wife.
Well, that's a good point, I say.
I got some peacock feathers. I think we can make her some really pretty jewelry.
We could make her an entire frogskin wagon.
Oh, that's true.
You make a good point there, Tyrannus. I didn't know. Got some good thinking over there.
Prop up, buddy. And I'm gonna go over to Resume and also treat wounds.
All right, so you guys are taking a break here. So while we're doing this, medicine checks are happening. So what is everyone doing with your 10 minutes? Tyrannus will attempt to tend to himself, so that you can attend to the rest of the party. So what are you doing?
Tending to Tyrannus, regardless of his.
Tyrannus will physically push you away.
The last time he tried, I got
him. You are
him.
a tiny man. He will pick you up, turn you around, and point you. You did it as one action last time. He kind of reaches through for a small roll of fine cloth, the black cloth he's been using to clean his blade, and pull that out as well as what
The
appears
exact
to be
same
a-
cloth gives himself an infection.
A little cloth, like a thick tarry substance, and he will spend it. He will try to treat himself. He's not going to let you treat him. He's going to try to treat himself. He wants you to tend to these two.
All right. Well, then I will. Hold
Did
on.
he get infected?
Hold
Does
on.
he get infected?
Hold on. Please.
Did he just jack himself up?
Oh, it passes out.
He critically fails and knocks himself out.
All right. So I'm gonna tend.
Dalrin just looks at him. The legendary stubbornness
He
of
will
the
try and
Hellknights.
pushes you away. He pulls out. It is the same as the gory black cloth he used before, and this like little tub of a very thick tarry substance. And doesn't take his armor off so much as he just undoes some of the straps, then slumps a pauldron down, and loosens his breastplate so he can reach up underneath it. You see him grit his teeth like, oh. He slumps over and passes out on the ground.
Resme kind of starts giggling, not really because it's funny, just because she's a little in shock. And
So he is dying at this
I
point.
mean, I would immediately tend to him.
So
He's no longer dying. That's a 19.
So you stabilize Tyrannus. But he is unconscious on the ground against the wall where you kind of just slumped over. It's the only way it could have happened, really.
Yeah. He did it to himself.
He literally did it to himself, yes.
legendary stubbornness of the Hellknights.
So, are you treating Tyrannus with the...
I am now treating Tyrannus.
What are you doing with this 10 minutes?
I'm treating Resume.
I'll treat Resume. Buford.
I'm going to be refocusing, kind of.
Did you use your focus point?
Yeah, lay
Lay on
hands.
hands.
Oh, Land Hands is your focus point, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the other, the main spell, but you don't even have that. I forgot. So you,
Yeah.
You'll be spending this refocusing. How do you look right now with that potion? It was a pretty powerful potion. It
Pretty good, actually.
I figure it would have
Not
almost
bad.
entirely stopped the bleeding. It
Tough
would
guy.
have clotted up everything. You are still wounded.
Yeah.
Unless someone treats you medically, because the potion, and you're still in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But you're not in mortal danger.
Yeah.
But you'll spend this time refocusing, praying to Iomadai, the goddess of battle, for
Yep.
these victories.
She'd be okay with
She's
this.
pretty proud of you right now. Saren Ray, but I won't have to say
Like I haven't been throwing some fire.
No, you
lances.
have been Saren Ray. Both of you deities would be quite pleased with you at the moment. Dalrin,
So Dalrin is actually in remarkably good condition. Given
nobody
the-
swung at you.
No one swung at me. It's great.
How good is reach?
Reach is spectacular. People hit other people before they hit you. It's very useful. It's the way the elves have survived with their frail bodies.
Long sticks with knives on the end.
We can see what happens when an elf gets close.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and also since Dalrin is A, untouched, and B, terrible at healing people because he just does not have the skill set, he's going to be handing out potions to, well, Buddy's kind of stubborn. Tyrannus, I was going to try to get him to drink one and try to convince him, but then he went and passed out, so that's not even an option anymore.
Well, the good news is him saying no is not an option anymore. You can just
Yep.
force feed him a potion. You
That's
can just
true.
pour a potion down his
I
throat.
can do that.
I'm gonna hold you back when you go to do it. Let me tend to the actual wounds before we
I love
give
that
him a
Tyrannus
potion.
is now wounded one from trying to tend to himself.
That'll teach him.
And Resme, you should probably drink at least a couple of these.
Are you sure? My mom always
No.
told me not to take drinks from strangers.
You, just to
That
make
was
sure,
a joke.
Oh, gallows humor. Yes, very good, very good.
Just to make sure no one is like any misunderstanding here. You haven't had your wounds treated at all, right? You can stay here for like 20 or 30 minutes and continue doing. Like,
Yes.
You can treat wounds everybody.
That
You're
would
not
be
limited.
great.
You have 10 minutes. You can only do it once.
Well, I think
So,
are we limited by the treat wounds that we did back in the first room?
yes, because it has not been an hour.
Yeah.
So,
So, someone has been.
I battle medicine to you
Does
yeah,
that
but no one has been
negate treat
actually
wounds?
treated. It does not. Battle medicine's its own thing.
because
Well,
every time we sat down to try to treat wounds, we got
jumped.
interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, and I can double check this. I believe battle medicine. It definitely has a 1-day cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is entirely separate from the normal.
That was
Well,
my
it
understanding.
I
is
think
actually
so.
still treat wounds, but I'm going to say for now it's not. We'll look it up later. I'm going to say you can treat wounds. So you could treat anybody else here. Tyrannus.
Tyrannus has also
Tyrannus
been
is
battle
being
medicine.
treated. You are treating Resme.
As soon as I'm up, I'm happy to treat Buddy.
So go ahead and roll me your medicine checks, you two.
Thanks, Esphus. You have really nice hands.
Just best at making things awkward, aren't you, Resme?
I am?
So I got a 12. Nothing really happens.
So you got a 12. Yeah, you
gonna
aren't
spend-
actually. You
this
actually
is-
aren't able to bring him.
Well, these are
back to
pretty severe. I'm
consciousness.
going to need to spend more than just a few
Yeah,
minutes working on
he has
these.
been pretty brutally clubbed.
15.
With a 15, you restore 2d8 health to Resme. And a Resme cannot have everyone's treated for an hour.
So I'm going to continue working on Tyrannus here.
For maximum 16.
Hey.
I'm back up to full.
D8 box cards. That's pretty good. So yeah, after 10 minutes of treatment, Brewer waves you off, but Tyrannus has not regained consciousness.
You,
At this point, like you've gotten him mostly out of his armor. To be able
That's
to
probably
address,
what the first
to
10
be able to
minutes
address the wounds properly, make
This
sure like
buckle goes like
yeah,
this.
the metal is not crushing against his wounds and making it impossible to treat. And you've gotten his breastplate off, and you're still not able to wake him up. He's breathing. Doesn't seem to be in any immediate danger of dying. But I'm also, before we head into the a second round of this, I need Ruhr and Buford to make fortitude saves.
Okey-dokey. Ooh.
16.
Okay.
I get a 27.
Oh, all right, that's solid. So both of you at this point, after your sickness earlier, when you had to stop outside before you came in and kind of retch and clear yourself, you've still kind of felt those symptoms. They don't know if it's the adrenaline, or just the time that's passed, or just the 26 on a fortitude save. But you have largely felt your symptoms almost entirely regress at this point. You're pretty sure the filth fever is not going to get any worse.
Okay.
And anti-plague.
Yeah, that's I factored that in.
Resme, once she gets up
Thank you.
and going, will sit down and you'll see her go through her familiar change as I'll use a focus point to channel her ancestral memories to give herself medicine favored,
Okay.
so that then she can treat wounds Buddy.
Okay. So as you flip, as Esvis gets you in shape, you try to help Buddy. Rur, you feel like this is actually beyond your ability to treat medically, because you have now treated wounds and Tyrannus is immune. And he's also gotten battle medicine. So you feel like
then I'm gonna treat him instead.
he
because
cannot have his wounds treated. It's not
he
by a
can't?
person.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Got
he
it.
has done his best. Like he has been treated
Gotcha.
medically, he's been bandaged up, he's still unconscious.
Well,
Yeah, we'll just have to give him a
But you
potion.
can't treat Buford.
Okay, that's a 16 plus 7 is gonna be a 23.
It can be a success, not a critical success, so Buford's going to get 2d8 back. Now, this is after you finish refocusing, after you've kind of felt your energy restore itself, Buford, and you have your focus point back.
You'll get 12 health back.
Cool. Pretty high medicine checks.
Yeah, I mean that's also
So
back
now-
up to full.
As she's treating Buford,
Do I get my wounded condition away?
yes. If you treat it medically, your wounded condition's removed.
Oh.
So, yeah, both of you would have lost wounded. You are okay now. Although, you have not been able to bring Tyrannus to consciousness. So while Resme kind of changes and starts treating Buford, what are you guys doing with Tyrannus?
I'm going to fall back to Dalrin's plan, and I'm
Yep.
going to take a minor healing potion out, and I'm just going to kind of dribble it down his mouth. So that's D6, right?
Is it a minor healing potion or elixir?
Potion.
That's D8.
Ooh.
The minor potion is the slightly better one. The lesser elixirs, so they kind of go back and forth over which is better as they rank up.
6.
Right? So with that, after 10 minutes of effort and a still unconscious Hellknight, you are able to bring Tyrannus, you're able to wake him up with a potion. And as you carefully kind of dribble this into his mouth, he stirs a bit.
Sir Knight.
Just kind of rubs his forehead.
Please. I found these 3 potions in your bag. Perhaps you should partake of your equipment. Hopefully he's still too groggy to realize.
And he turns and looks up to you. And he kind of opens his eyes groggily and sort of looks around, smirks. That is odd.
Ha! Don't feel like an idiot. It happens to even the best of us. It's all right.
I must have foreseen these events.
You're very wise.
I would
Perhaps
rather
Asmodeus gave me forewarning.
I would rather you not have a conversation with my goddess today.
Truth be told, nor I mine.
Buford, I wanted to thank you for saving my sister. I owe you a debt.
You know I wouldn't let anything happen to her. It's kind of an odd conversation to have, but I'm here to protect.
Just to clarify, she is still alive, yes? This is not some from beyond the grave magic.
No, she's still alive.
Very well.
Please, Sir Knight, drink.
He'll take it. What are you handing him?
Another minor healing potion.
Another D8.
Hey, 6 more.
6 more health back. We take those.
Perhaps it would be worth taking a break for the day. We have come quite far.
The
It
whole
wouldn't be-
day here? We're reasonably well protected, but
This is a
I
fairly
meant
secure
leave.
chamber, but I must admit, though my wounds appear to have been more severe than I expected, I am remiss to allow the Cinderclaws time to regroup. We do not know how many are left. There is certainly at least one more wing of these crypts on the other side, and we do not know how far that antechamber extends. If I am to hazard a guess, though I do not know the layout of these vaults specifically, I would imagine they may lead to the storage, the vaults proper, the armories.
at the very least, I think our entry here has let the Cinderclaws know that there is some way out. They'll likely scour every wall they can find. If we leave here, they're almost sure to find the secret door and escape.
That is correct. They seem... Was this... He just kind of gestures, still laying on his back. He hasn't moved at all. the potion, 2 empty potion bottles next to him, towards the eastern hole in the wall. This very much seems to imply that they are, in fact, trapped here.
An act of desperation here at this wall, and truly they were desperate and quite thoroughly trapped by their ignorance. But if any of them have a brain amongst all of them, they will have realized that they could escape once we entered and then had us vanish again. It would not be wise to leave them here.
I would certainly not give these Cinderclaws benefit of the doubt for intelligence, but you're all correct. For now, they still believe they are trapped, or at least they have not had an opportunity to try to find us otherwise.
My most potent magics are also pretty much spent.
Same here. I have a couple of minor blessings that I could use, but all of my divine healing is used up for the day.
That last push of theirs, that was coordinated. It's not impossible that was the last of them. Those creatures, boggards you called them, they are fairly large. None of the chambers down here could, I'd imagine, easily house a group of them, and we had not seen them in such numbers so far. That may have been the final muster, but I would not feel comfortable staking our lives or the lives of those in Breach Hill on that.
We should at least scout the area, see if we can find any trace of any more cultists still alive before we feel it's safe enough to retreat, I would think.
I agree. Based on what you have told me, what the goblins above know, and of the layouts of the vaults and the citadels, one of these wings will almost certainly be crypts. We inter our own. We do not send them to public cemeteries. We give them their rights and their passage and their burials here. As I explained to you before, the necromantic wards. I would imagine if any of these cultists had attempted to infiltrate the crypt, they would probably have tried to search it, and he just kind of gestures at the pile of crap that is this entire room, damaged something and triggered the woods. That may be why they are active. And from what you've told me about undead above, it is possible they are afraid entirely. These boggards are strong, but I would not count their chances well against the full might of an undead legion of Hellknights.
Good point.
I do have one question about that.
He kind of just rolls his head over towards you. I have nowhere better to be.
Will your deceased kind recognize you as friend?
I would like to believe they still rest. The wards are somewhat difficult to activate, but if they are awakened, I do not really know. I am not a signifier.
A what?
I don't know. Did we not have this conversation? Signifiers, the magic.
Oh, that's right.
I am not a signifier. I have no aspirations to become one. I don't know the specifics of these wards. I only know of their existence.
But I understand the basics of undead.
If I am to understand a priest of the sun god, you would wish to smite them. As would you. You walk in the grey shadow, Esvis.
And and I just kind of turn and give kind of a quick grimace with a smile, and then go back to being stone-faced.
That is what I thought I heard as I was awakening. This is odd, to say the least. I've not many met, well, truth be told, this group here is about half of the elves I have ever met in my life, but to my understanding, there are not many who worship the Grey Mother. But we've all our stories.
One at a time, then. Let's recuperate. Let's make this wing safe. And then we can decide from there.
Good, I'm starving.
A feast is in order, certainly, for our victories. Very well. Rations it is.
Dried bread and cheese.
Yum.
Perhaps an apple if we choose to splurge.
I believe I saw earlier granola from this one.
I have a few of them, yes.
And, still laying very still in his back, still very injured, not really moving a whole lot. Tyrannus chuckles a bit as the group of you in your little fortified area here regroup, eat up, and rest as well as you can. So the treat wounds, the medical thing does not mean it's an hour. You've done the best you can for right now. But without resting an entire day, you could spend, you could break, eat food, chronicle your thoughts, plan. You could rest here for a full hour and then treat wounds again. Perfectly fine. You can spend some time here.
Yeah.
Basically doing long-term care, tending to yourselves, tending to Tyrannus, and trying to heal him up a little further. Also, with your time in the room, I am fairly positive that at some point you wanted to inspect the pile of rubble in the first place.
Yes.
So you would certainly spend some time doing that, and it would take you an amount of time. It is quite a large heap of rubble. It mostly appears to be almost completely randomly assorted garbage. Bits of cloth, bits of old tools, and even ancient rusty bent weapons, basically beyond use. Chunks of stone, masonry, and wood. None of it looks like it came from the wall here. That rubble looks like it is strewn just kind of around the eastern end and largely had been hauled off into the room with the giant cloth jungle, more or less, removed from the area. But whatever this is, it does have a decent amount of some value in here. A lot of the things in here are metal and a little shiny. It looks like a giant bird nest, like a crow would have just collected things of interest to it. But through the total of the heap over about a half hour of digging through it, you would turn up a total of about 15 gold in assorted coins.
Wow.
When you start finding the gold coins, Severin will kind of work his way out of the back of my pouch and notice that you have shiny things and food. And he'll kind of hop over to you and kind of look at you and kind of look at the coins and the food and then kind of look at you expectantly. Are you going to give him some?
Can I help you, small bird? Esvis immediately pulls a little bit of jerky, or I immediately reach into the pack, pull out a little bit of jerky. Here.
He looks very pleased with himself.
And with Jen RPing her crow, I figured that is a perfectly fine time for us to end today's session. You have triumphed over quite a lot of Cinderclaws over the last 4 hours, and what has been the first relatively grueling series of combats we've had in the Age of Ashes. Upstairs, you triumphed so easily among everything that was thrown in front of you on the top level of Citadel Altarian, but down here in the depths,
I actually had to burn through all my resources.
you burned through all of your heals. I think you've used all of your first level spells.
One left.
One
but-
left. The focus points came out, and now we're here barricaded behind two separate python shut doors, treating our wounds and trying to prepare and figure out what it is we want to do about this. Dalren raises a good point. If there's cultists left and we leave, certainly they're not bright, but they well put together. There is a way to come and go. That is a risk we don't know if we can take, but we're not in a fantastic state to continue. I think it would definitely be wise to at least spend a little longer resting and tending to our wounds. But next week, when we come back, this has been one wing
I know.
of the vaults
Man.
beneath Citadel Altarian.
And no one dead yet.
No one dead yet. None whatsoever. We have had our first and our second brush with death. Almost our third, technically our third with Tyrannus, but that was his own fault.
No
gonna
one
head
does
out,
me in
everyone.
but myself.
Next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, same place. We'll be here. Join us then, but for now, good night, all. Safe travels.
Make good choices.
Trying to get clubbed by buggers.
Definitely don't make good choices.